Get nasty on a Thursday. It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Jamie Rivers and Carey Davis. I'm Anthony Stalter. Blues hockey tonight as they take on the Oilers. Pregame starting right here on 101 ESPN at 6 o'clock. Going to be real easy. Edmonton doesn't have a lot of skill players. Not a lot of guys that can put the biscuit in the basket, so it should be a relatively easy night for your St. Louis Blues.
Anthony, they've only won 18 of their last 19. Kagura.
Who's counting?
And they only scored 5 goals in the third period the other night.
You know, they had an opportunity for greatness, though, the other night, and they couldn't get it done.
It did.
Remember, they lost?
At one time.
That one game.
Yeah.
I think it was in Vegas, too, wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah.
It was.
It should be fun tonight, though. Should be a lot of fun. Good litmus test, Jamie, for our St. Louis Blues.
It's going to be a challenge, there's no doubt. The matchup that I'm excited to watch is Colton Parayko McDavid. And for obvious reasons, I know I've said it ad nauseum, but for somebody who maybe hasn't heard me say this, I had a talk with Connor McDavid last year at the rink, just talking about hockey in general and teams and matchups, and he brought up Colton Parayko, saying that he doesn't like playing against him. He goes, he's one of the hardest guys in the league for me to play against.
Yeah.
And then I've watched other teams now. And when you watch the Blues game and you're sitting at home and you're looking like, what could I watch that's new? Well, let me try to find something to pay attention to. When other teams are on the rush, which means they're approaching the Blues blue line with speed with 2 and 3 guys, watch how many times they go to the left side of the ice. They'll skate and make their play away from Colton Parayko. So it'll be like running the ball away from Ray Lewis.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And watch how many times it happens. Now, sometimes it is just part of the game, but when they have time and space and the option to go to like one side or the other, they like to go to Nick Leddy's side. And it's nothing against Nick Leddy. It's just that they view him as the easier matchup, which he hasn't been this year. He's been very solid. But that's also contributing to the fact that Nick Leddy's been able to play better, too. Watch how many times Nick Leddy's able to stand up and get plays or kill plays early, and because teams are skating away from Colton Parayko. So that, to me, again, a long-winded answer here, but that, to me, is going to be interesting tonight to watch the matchup game of Colton Parayko versus McDavid. You won't always get that. You'll try, but then it'll be Colton Parayko versus Leon Draisaitl. Like, it's going to be fun.
So what I would imagine there's a distinct advantage from what you're talking about for the Blues with Colton Parayko. If they're trying to make the play on the left side like you're talking about. I just remember Darrell Revis. Darrell Revis used to shut down one half of the field. So that would leave the opponent, I mean, you know where the ball is likely to go. It's a huge advantage for the defense in that regard. So what specifically is the advantage for the Blues if they have Colton Parayko on the ice and they know that the teams are going to try to stay away from him?
Be much more aggressive. You can be much more aggressive with your back pressure, and that when you're back checking and you know that they're going to change puck side, they're going to change side. Now you can be way more aggressive on that side of the ice.
Gotcha.
So instead of coming back the whole way through the middle of the ice, you can come back angling towards that side because you see it, evolving in front of you. And also, if they start to head over that way and you're in the middle of the ice, now you can just hold the middle of the ice so that Nick Leddy can stand up, and then Colton Parayko can drop behind him and pick up the loose change, as we call it, which all that means is the defenseman stands up, gets the body, the puck continues, there's loose change just hanging out there, your partner picks it up, and you're headed north. Transition game. And Al McInnes was the guy who literally taught me how to do that. It was great because as a young defenseman, you don't necessarily know, like, when you should stand up, why you should stand up, why you should force. And when we got to be partners, I loved hitting guys.
Right.
Loved hitting guys at the blue line. And I was like, I love it. Great. He's like, just make sure you hit him. Don't miss.
Don't miss.
He's like, I don't care about the puck. I don't care about anything else.
Yeah.
You stand up that guy. The moment he's getting to the blue line, drill him. And so I would do that. And then Al would already be cheating behind me, picking up the loose change, and we'd be gone up the ice the other way. I was like, man, this game's easy. All I got to do is run into somebody.
Yeah.
And so that's how the game can transform into being a much better or much cleaner, more effective transition night for the Blues, is by getting those stand-ups, creating those loose pucks, and then taking those loose pucks and heading up the other way, which is going to be huge against the Oilers because tonight, of all nights, is a night you want them to play defense. You want Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins and Evander Kane. All of these guys playing defense tonight, getting frustrated and cheating on the wrong side of the puck because they're forced to play in their own end.
Well, you said it many times. Making guys play defense is something that, it tires them out. It's a little bit harder to play defense than on the offensive side, on the offensive end. So, if you can create some turnovers and get the puck out of your zone, clear it, as Anthony Stalter likes to tell us all the time.
Thank you, Carey. Yeah,
and
clear camp coming.
Clear camp coming soon.
Yeah,
get it out of your own zone.
Company.
He's working on it. He's
not going to get one here.
Maybe?
No.
Okay.
You're a really savvy business guy, too. You typically know what you're doing.
You know what, Anthony?
He's missing the mark on this one.
No. Hang on. Here's what we'll do. We'll have your Clear It Camp. It'll be under the Synergy Hockey umbrella.
Thank you.
We will advertise it and everything. Now, only if you pre-sell it and fill it.
That's not really a problem.
So that when you fill it, now it falls under the umbrella. We have all the employees. We'll have your Clear It Camp.
Sure.
But if you don't fill the camp, unfortunately, we can't support it.
How many kids you need?
72.
72?
Hey, who says we need kids, though? There's guys out there that are playing in beer leagues, and they need to know how to clear the puck, too.
There you go.
That's a great point.
Then you have to draw the line, right? Because you could have kids up to 18 all on the ice together. This is at least my company policy. Up to the age of 17, and then anything above 17, it can only be 18 and older on the ice.
So then you need two sessions.
I don't need. They could have two groups.
Potentially.
You can have the A group and the B group.
Yeah, two sessions.
Here's the thing. 70. You're telling me 72 kids don't want to properly clear the puck out of the zone? There's no way.
I think this is possible.
I think it's more than
Pre-sell
possible.
it, baby.
Yeah.
Pre-sell. You get out there. You do your marketing pitch.
Jamie, I appreciate you
You've got
finally.
the T-shirts.
There we go.
That's true. I've got them in different colors. I can wear one each day. I can go to some of these games and say, hey, listen.
Hand out brochures. Clear it. Camp.
Saw your son out there fumbling around with the puck in his own zone led to a goal.
Yeah.
If he only cleared it, if you only had the proper skills to clear it, you wouldn't have lost that game right there.
You know where your sweet spot is with this, honestly? Because I go to a lot of youth hockey games. Ashley's little guy, Reed, plays youth hockey. And all I hear from coaching staffs, clear it. And I'm sitting there and my skin starts to crawl. It starts to crawl because the kids then, they don't want the puck because the coach is yelling, clear it so loud. And so they're like, yeah.
Get it out of there.
Hey, coach, how about you yell skate with it, pass it, stick handle, clear it.
Or just clear it.
No, the kids clear it, but they can't clear it right. So it gets picked off in the back.
That's why they need the camp. Thank you, Carey.
But that's what I said. The coaches are your sweet spot.
Absolutely.
Because they'll be like, hey, this guy knows to clear it, man.
Exactly.
We don't even need to just clear the puck. We need to move the puck, right? And that doesn't mean just flipping it out of the zone. If you got a guy streaking up the ice, you fire that puppy.
Now you're starting to. Now you're blurring it a little bit. Now you're encroaching into my skill stuff.
No, he's saying
I don't know how to make a pass. That's not my fault.
It's clear you have no skill involved in this particular camp.
What skill?
To clear it is just to shoot the puck. Don't you dare start, encroaching into my skills stuff.
Hey, we can make a pass.
Hard line here.
If we make a sauce pass, then
It's got to be at least waist high.
It's first of all, it's my clear camp. Okay.
Oh, but you want the company logo on there.
I presented you with an opportunity,
and I gave you an option to just sell it out, and I'll carry it.
He gets to run
I'm
it
going to
how
set
he
some
sees
boundaries with you because I see
I'll
what's
pay you
going
a
on
fee,
here.
Don't worry.
Yeah.
Fine.
Marsh, we may want to go on independent.
You'll get the Yachty Consulting.
Oh,
gauge.
here we go. So I don't have to show up for weeks on end?
You got people already asking how they sign up for
Thank
the
you.
clear camp. You got the
appreciate it.
website.
My son plays St. Peter, St. U. We're in it.
Thank you.
yes.
Thank you to our great
We don't even
listeners.
need Anthony.
Hey, I spun
On
it.
the ice.
He sells it out. I'll carry it.
You don't even need to be on the ice. You can be on the bench.
be the director.
Marsh, I would like to be, though. I would like to be on the ice. I don't think without proper guidance, who knows what happens here.
Hey, that's why you utilize your assistant coach.
Exactly,
You could
yeah.
be like Scotty Bowman and just sit on a chair out on the ice.
Yeah.
Scotty
Is that what he did?
So some practices he goes and sit on a folding chair at center ice.
I'd
And
like
if
to
you ran
display
into
it,
him, that
though.
was your fault because you knew he was going to be there.
I'd like to display it, though. I'd like to display proper technique when it comes to clearing the puck out of the zone.
Anthony, I love you.
Thank you.
Very much. I've
appreciate
seen
it.
you with a stick and
Yeah.
a puck.
Pretty good, huh?
You're probably going to have to attend a Synergy hockey camp before you work on your cleared camp.
That's fine. I'm
gonna
already
attend.
writing up drills.
You have some older gentlemen. I need to learn how to skate.
Carey and I will be there.
Yeah. I don't know how to skate.
We don't have a learn to skate program.
Darn it.
We already have
especially
drills.
with
I already have
adults,
them in my mind.
It's hard to hold you up.
The high and hard off the glass drill.
I really, I haven't heard really a problem yet.
Anthony, I told you, you've got full support.
Thank you.
Just pre-sell it.
It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. I've already got, listeners have been fantastic.
You got 3? You got
I got 3 right now.
You only need
Ready to roll.
69 more.
These people that are texting in, though, they probably have multiple kids. Their kids play on teams.
Yeah.
I'll fill it up real quick, Jamie.
There you go.
Of course you will.
I got no problem filling it up.
And I hope you do. And you're right. You're very good at that.
It's Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. 2:13, your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. John Mosela, we'll get some audio from John Mosela. He says, one thing is, it's important, but this other thing's way more important. It'll tick you off. We'll play it for you next on 101 ESPN.
Cheap, fun.
Beautiful sunny weather out there today. Why not stop by Dirt Cheap, who are St. Louis's one-stop party shop? If you're a beer person, they've got incredible selection. They've got all sorts of different kinds of beer, and I guarantee that the beer is at an incredible price. Red wine, white wine, any kind of your spirits, maybe the flavored vodkas. I picked one up not too long ago. It was a raspberry flavored vodka and mixed it with pineapple juice. I tell you what, it was unbelievable. Absolutely loved it, and the price was fantastic over there at Dirt Cheap. And of course, don't forget about your bourbon selection. They've got a ton of bourbons, and the one here I've been telling you guys about, Elijah Craig small batch. It's priced so awesome, and you are going to absolutely love that bourbon. And you can tell me when you see me, thank you for that suggestion. I can tell you that much. Now, another one, download the app. Dirt Cheap app is awesome. It's easy to maneuver, and you get all sorts of sales and discounts, and there's clubs involved. There's raffles involved for some of the other bourbons, the high-end stuff that Dirt Cheap brings in. And of course, they always have the order ahead, pick up curbside, or place your order online and have it delivered, which is an amazing feature available at Dirt Cheap. So again, please stop by any location. Tell them Jamie Rivers sent you in. And please remember, have fun, but be careful out there.
It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Carey Davis and Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. John Mozeliak spoke at spring training today, and I found this quote to be kind of interesting because I think we can all agree that a team needs a lot of skill. But what he said mattered most was kind of interesting. Here's Mo talking about, skill matters, but this actually matters more.
Well, certainly skill matters, and it's very relevant. But we also do want people that want to be part of this community, the St. Louis community, and I think that's important. And, we have had times where we've had players that end up signing here that they don't find that comfort in the community or maybe as welcoming as others. And, hopefully that bridge has already been crossed, and these guys know exactly what they're getting into.
All right, so he didn't say it mattered more, but what he's talking about is buy-in. He's talking about guys that want to be here. How do you feel about that, Carey? Because you got kind of a smirk on your face that I'm dying to know what you're thinking.
I would like to know which players didn't want to be here, right? Like, where did they come from, or what were they looking for or expecting when they got here? Because it may be a difference from if you're from a certain part of the country and another part of the country, and maybe being in the middle of the country is not suited for you. And I think that's a person-to-person thing. I don't know. I mean, you should probably vet that before you sign them, though. Like, you should have an idea of if this person wants to be here because they are going to get paid more here than, say, in Los Angeles, or if they want to be here because they really want to be a part of this organization. And if you are not figuring that out until July, you're like, this guy doesn't even like St. Louis. This is not going to work out well. I think that's a difficult task.
Is it possible, though, that you end up somewhere where you think it's going to be great and you end up not liking it?
It is,
like,
but
what
I don't
if the money was right and you said to John Mozeliak, hey, man, I'm really excited to be a Cardinal. Can't wait to play for your great organization. You get there, and then, your wife is upset. Your kids don't like the school. All of a sudden, you're like, son of a...
Well, yeah, I think that could play a part into it. I think for the player or the athlete, if you're in an environment that is a good environment team-wise, I think you can get past all of it. But outside of that, if your family is unhappy, yeah, it can be an issue. But, there are a lot of players that some people's families stay in the city where they are, so they don't have to move around. And the family is centrally located in one state, in one city, one school district. And the player is the one that has to do all of the moving, or the coaches. So, there are ways around that. I just think if you are a player, it's easier to be more comfortable when you're winning and when you're around good teammates and having fun. If you're not, if you're losing, guys in the locker room or the clubhouse stink or they suck and they're not good people, you probably aren't in a good environment and aren't feeling really well.
But maybe this is what Mo's basing it off of. Maybe there are guys that were here in the last couple of years that expected to go farther with the team or expected the teammates to be better guys. And based upon this massive culture change that they've had to invoke this year by bringing back all these great guys and leaders and culture people, maybe that was part of the reason. They're like, man, I heard about what's going on in St. Louis. I'm good. I'm good. That guy there, that's part of your team? Or are you guys like, I don't know.
What changed, though? Like, what? Who? What? Well, you brought Albert back, but Yachty and Waino were here the last couple of years.
I'm talking
Waino
more
was here
specifically last year.
Montgomery was here the year before, half of the season.
You had guys in that clubhouse, though. Obviously, and I don't know who. I'm not in that clubhouse or locker room. But you obviously had guys who were not quality people. To have this much of a change in the offseason, to covet guys that are leaders and culture guys, you obviously had a problem. We've talked about this for weeks.
Clubhouse. Yeah, that's a team issue.
I don't know how I don't want to be a part of that. Carey, I don't know.
I don't know either.
I'm speculating.
It also
Mo said it, not me.
Well, it also sounds to me like a bit of a cop-out, if you're Mo. And you say, because you can, people can ask you, hey, what about Jordan Montgomery? What about Blake Snell? What about this player? What about that player? Are you interested in that? And Mo really can't speak to specific players that either were offered a contract or they're interested in. He just won't. It doesn't make any sense to. But it's a bit of a cop-out if, let's just say, hey, did you guys think about adding so-and-so? He doesn't have to get into specifics, but he could also say, well, we want guys that are going to be, that want to be here. Did you offer him a fair contract? Did you challenge the agent?
Did you only talk to guys who wanted to be here?
Exactly. Did you go for the layup? Did you go for comfort?
I don't
sounds
call
like
them, they call me.
It kind of sounds like you just.
Yeah, I don't think you're in a position to do that. I think
You make one phone call. Lance Lynn, his agent, say yes, definitely. Kyle Gibson says yes, definitely. That's it. Done deal.
Well, the way Mo made that sound, and I don't want to put, words in Mo's mouth. I'll put anything there for that matter. But he made it feel and sound like Lance Lynn and Kyle Gibson reached out to the Cardinals. They wanted to be here. They want to be here.
And that sounds good to the fans,
never mind
too.
that we could have got these guys a month and a half later.
Right.
Maybe at an even more discounted price because they're starting to feel the heat. Don't worry about that. They wanted to be here, so we wanted them.
It's an easy sell to the fan base. We signed guys that want to be here.
I don't like that.
What?
I don't like how that sounds.
Which part?
The part where they called and so they want to be here, so we signed them.
Yeah. Well, that's what happened.
That's not.
I'm sure there's mutual interest. In fairness, I'm sure there's mutual
three pitchers.
interest.
There was damn sure mutual
Yes.
interest. We got to have three.
You couldn't have waited. I didn't see them lined up.
You could have lost out on them.
You also could have been more aggressive with other
90
players.
Okay.
You could have been more aggressive with other players, too.
But
Again,
that's
Jordan
my
Montgomery's
point,
still out there.
But here, it's almost a cop-out to your point, Carey, because now Mo answers the phone for these two guys, signs them, and says, well, we've spent a lot of money here. We got to be careful. We've got
Did what we came to do.
almost prohibiting the fact that they could be coveting other players.
Plus-
so now he's got to tell the media, tell the fan base, hey, these guys, they were a good fit. They wanted to be here. We wanted them. We committed the money. So to go after player X, Y, or Z right now, stretching our limits.
Here's the other thing, too. If a player doesn't want to be here, there's really that's where it stops. My agent, you exactly.
Because they're going to ask for something absurd,
right?
And you're not going to go to the. Yeah, I'll come there for $400 million. Oh, what are you talking about? We don't need to talk to you. You know if they want to be here or not. I think I don't know what that. I don't know what that is. What do you?
I feel like in the past, players would come here because of the baseball heaven moniker, right? This is a place to be if you love baseball, you want to play in St. Louis because of the history. I wonder if there's not that appeal is gone. I wonder if it's gone.
They used to come here because they wanted to win too.
Yeah.
You got the Yankees, then you got the Cardinals. When you talk about the winningest franchises, so that was an allure too. The fan base, for sure. Passionate fan, but then they're like, hey, this is a team that's competitive every year.
Yeah.
But then people start to realize that they're just kind of competitive.
Well, I also think that was part of the.
Well, it's do I want to go live in L.A., New York, these big cities,
and also win.
And they're good, and they win.
Yeah, there's definitely
Taxes
been.
out there in
There are
California
so many
more.
more. Right. You got so much more on. You want to go pay how much in taxes?
The 38,
in LA?
39%.
Unless you're Shohei and you get it all deferred.
Well, then yeah. Man.
But Marsh, there was a point. There was a point in time where that's what I don't think it was that long ago either that there was a shift because Arenado wanted to be here, Goldschmidt wanted to be here. I think St. Louis was still attractive to players like that. It's like, hey, all baseball. I don't need the media. I don't need the spotlight. I don't need the big endorsements. I just want to play ball.
I feel
Those
like
two guys fit
Sonny Gray
perfectly.
is that type of
Sonny
guy
Gray
too.
is that guy too. So I still think there is an allure there, but. When you're Giancarlo Stanton and you have an opportunity to go to New York or go to LA or go to Houston, bigger markets, and you're gonna get paid and you're gonna win big, there's a lot of players that you're not gonna be able to swim in their pool. They're not gonna allow you.
I wonder if that's why the Cardinals don't hit on the international players as much.
There's no excuse not to. There's no excuse not to be better in the international market. I think the Cardinals have done a piss poor job with the international market. What was the last guy that was an international star, for his superstar? Just a steady player.
You had KK. He came in, he was a steady pitcher.
He was fine.
I'm being fair.
And for 2 years, though. I'm talking about Ronald Acuna.
Well, that's never happened. Has it? Has it ever happened here?
It happened to the Braves.
No, here to us.
We're not.
I'm asking, and also I'm not being a jerk right now.
No.
I want to who is the last international? Well, I guess Albert was drafted. No,
he's drafted.
He's drafted.
Yeah, I'm talking about internet. Aledmus Diaz.
He was good for a year.
He was fine.
He's an all-star.
He was fine.
What about Oscar Tavares?
I was thinking Oscar Tavares.
I was thinking that too, but that's obviously.
We're still only talking about one guy, though.
Yeah.
I mean, there are teams that are killing the international market, and they can supplement their draft with the international signings. I don't think there's no excuse. Like Miles Michaelis was not an international signing. He was already in the big leagues once. Then he went out to, what was it, Japan, and then they signed him from Japan after. I'm not talking about those guys. I'm talking about finding 18, 19-year-old kid, signing him to a deal, rolling the dice like they didn't want to do with Luis Robert of the White Sox, and finding a dude in the international market.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I wonder if these international players, like the Cardinals, don't have that international pull. Like when they had Albert,
why not?
They should.
That'd be my question.
That's what I'm saying. They don't have that type of player.
You're
Maybe
right.
Wilson
Why
Contreras
not?
can be that player.
We got Yachty
But you
right
signed
now.
him. He was a free agent.
Right.
Why would you not have guys like Yachty now, especially right now? Like, if you want to add to this guy's job title or find a way, like, he should be making headway with international players by being able to see these guys or talk to these guys or
Definitely.
like, at some point.
I agree.
It's the Fast Lane on 101 at ESPN. What's trending is next.
Gentlemen, FanDuel is the best in the business for several reasons, but one thing they absolutely love to do is take care of new customers. And if you're a new customer right now and you sign on to FanDuel, you'll get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. So, Carey, Anthony, let me make this really easy for you. Now, Carey, probably better for you.
What?
Is you get $150 if your bet wins.
Yeah, Jamie, and you can bet on all of your favorite NBA players and teams with quick bets, live same-game parlays, exclusive props, and so much more. The Boston Celtics are really good. Kristaps Porzingis, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, those guys, number one in the East.
St.
Cleveland
Louis is
Cavaliers
own.
right behind them, though. Maybe
You should
wanna-
fire their coach.
Probably not.
Worked out well for. Never mind.
I didn't. Just visit FanDuel.com/fast and shoot your shot.
FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of the NBA. Must be 21 or older and present in Illinois. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Blues are back in action tonight, taking on the Edmonton Oilers. Pregame starts at 6. Puck drop is at 7. And you can catch all the action right here on 101 ESPN. The Oilers are 8-2 in their last 10 games. Should be a tough one for the Blues. We'll see how they can do tonight on home ice. Chris Kerber will join us at 3:15 to discuss tonight's game as well. Once again, Blues and Oilers tonight right here on 101 ESPN. We have What's Trending coming up next right here in the Fast Lane. I'm Andrew Marsh, and this Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff. Find new roads and shop 24/7 at londoff.com and londoffautoplex.com. Are you kidding me?
It's time to find out what's going on in the sports world with What's Trending Now. Brought to you by Goodwill. Donate a car and get tickets to the St. Louis Cardinals.
Welcome back to the Fast Lane here on 101 ESPN with Anthony Stalter, Jamie Rivers, and Carey Davis. I'm Andrew Marsh, and it's time for What's Trending. Gentlemen, Kansas City Chiefs head coach Andy Reid broke down their play at the end of the game that resulted in the Chiefs winning the Super Bowl. Of course, that touchdown pass was caught by McCole Hardman, but Andy Reid said that specific play wasn't necessarily intended for McCole Hardman. They had a bunch of different variations that they could have thrown to. They called the play Tom and Jerry because it involves a couple of people. Gary, you've been breaking down some plays for us in the office. You know, what did you see on that? Is there a reason why Steve Wilks is no longer a part of the 49ers coaching staff? Like, what did you see on that final drive and that final play?
Well, I told you I saw Bosa continue to try to chase down the running back on an RPO play, which his job at the running back, generally if the running back is to your side, your job is Q, meaning quarterback, meaning your angle needs to be at the quarterback, see the ball, hand it off, and then chase down the run. He was adamant in chasing down Pacheco, which allowed Patrick Mahomes to get outside of him on a couple of times, including that final touchdown to McCole Hardman. That's what I saw. In terms of Steve Wilks being fired, I don't know, man. I guess there was an issue we call marrying the front end and the back end. So if you have a certain blitz called or a certain front called, you want to marry that with the back end, meaning your secondary knows if we're blitzing, we probably need to be a little bit closer because the ball is going to come out quicker. That's generally the school of thought. And on that last drive, you saw that the Chiefs were able to pick up 5-yard hitches and, just slow, methodical downfield because the DBs were so far back. And I think eventually, there was a play where Tony Romo actually broke it down that Kyle Shanahan called a timeout in that overtime period where Romo said, I think he called the timeout because those DBs are too far back and he did not like the defensive play call. So Kyle Shanahan had to call the timeout to help him correct it. And so if you're doing that on the larger stage, you probably had a lot of games like that, and you lose your job because of it. I don't think it was necessarily because they lost the game.
Yeah, I just scratched my head a little bit, though, Carey, and I'm not disputing one thing you're saying. I look at it from another standpoint, is their defense league-wide ranked really high. Mm-hmm. That's a hell of a defensive effort by that team all season long. And in the first half, that defense held the Kansas City Chiefs to next to nothing. Your offense is what sputtered it away. So if I'm Steve Wilks and Kyle Shanahan challenges me on a play I've called, I might say, hey, buddy, why don't you check your own backyard before you call me? And that's probably why he got fired.
Maybe.
That's my theory, is that there was an exchange of words somewhere.
There may have been.
I'm sure.
It's my theory, Anthony. I'm allowed to it.
Never said you didn't.
Yeah, this is your attitude.
I wouldn't doubt it. It was, especially in a high, intensity type of moment like that.
Yeah.
Just everything not going the way. You don't win the game. There's a lot of pieces that you can point to and say this didn't work. Greenlaw getting hurt obviously hampered them on the defensive side because he's one of your better linebackers. It changed the game for them when you have Patrick and Travis able to hook up in the way that they were. So it's just a lot of things that took place that I think if they could do it again, they probably would do it differently.
And who knows? Maybe Kyle Shanahan also has his eye on somebody that is no longer employed. I mean, Wink Martindale is available.
Wink is going to college, isn't he?
Is he going to college?
I thought I heard he's going somewhere there.
Brandon Staley, as bad as he was as a head coach, he had some success as a defensive coordinator for the Rams. So there might be somebody out there that Kyle Shanahan knows is available. And like Carey was saying, there's some things during the Super Bowl that, that went sideways that were probably there too during the regular season. And Kyle Shanahan said, hey, we need to upgrade here.
Well, speaking of firing coaches, Rob Parker, co-host of Fox Sports Radio's The Odd Couple, he says a lot of interesting things. This one has to be one of the crazier things that I think I've ever heard him say.
Michigan, by the way. Wink Martindale to Michigan. Good call.
Rob Parker says, fire Kyle Shanahan and hire Bill Belichick. He's sitting there. He will get you over the top. Bill Belichick is the way for the 49ers to finally win again. He knows how to win. He knows how to close games out. That's why it's worth making the move.
I don't know about that one.
We're going to play hot take or hot garbage later on. That's hot garbage.
That's terrible.
Kyle Shanahan is 44 years old. You know what they said?
I think he'd have it figured out.
You know what they said about Andy Reid about 10 years ago? He'll never win. He'll never win. He can't figure it out. 20 years ago, in fact.
Yeah.
He went to 4 straight NFC Championship games for the Eagles, only got him to the Super Bowl once, didn't win it, and everybody said he's not going to be able to win it. And now he's got 3. Bill Cowher was always another guy. Good head coach, never going to win, until he did. And then as soon as he retired, everybody was saying year after year for about 5 or 6 years, Bill Cowher's going to get another job. He's going to want another job. We like to play the narrative game when the results aren't there, but Kyle Shanahan never being able to win one because he didn't get it done as an OC or the last 2 Super Bowls when he lost to Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes. I mean, come on, guys.
Yeah, I don't think he should be fired, but I think there is a level of, I guess, understanding every aspect of the game that obviously Bill Belichick brings to the table. Them not understanding the overtime rules, the entire team.
Happened.
Yeah, nah.
Very true.
Everybody on the Kansas City Chiefs, I don't know if you all saw the video, but they're like, they want the ball.
Yeah.
They want the ball. They want the ball, guys. We'll go on defense. We'll kick it that way.
It was an egregious mistake.
That can't happen. I was watching a video yesterday with Cam Newton talking about when he didn't dive on the football in the Super Bowl and how that's one of his biggest regrets because you never know. At that age, you probably I'll be back in the Super Bowl. I'll get another chance. He never went back. You do not know when the next time, if there is a next time. You have to capitalize on that moment in that moment. Kyle Shanahan has been fortunate to be in 3 Super Bowls. He may never get to another Super Bowl again. So when you're talking about some mistakes are so egregious you cannot bounce back from. I don't know if that's one, but if he never has another Super Bowl opportunity in his life, he's going to remember that and regret that moment or many moments in that game.
You're absolutely right. What I'm saying, though, is I heard the same thing about Reid. Reid was making bad decisions at the end of games with clock management. He'll never learn. He's got 3 Super Bowls.
Well, and Andy Reid at 44 years old had never been to a Super Bowl yet as a head coach.
Yeah.
And Kyle Shanahan's been to.
Kyle Shanahan's a really smart guy. Doesn't mean he's a finished product, though.
It doesn't necessarily mean he needs to keep his job either, though. He could have, Andy Reid had to move on, too. You know what I'm saying?
You're right. You're right on that. I hope then that Kyle Shanahan makes his way back to Atlanta. That'd be nice.
Last thing here.
Roads lead to Atlanta.
Straight face.
All roads lead to
Hell
Atlanta.
yeah, I said that with a straight face.
You really are.
They should have fired Dan Quinn when after they lost the Super Bowl and named Shanahan the head coach.
Right then and there.
Right then and there.
On the field.
Spot.
Yeah.
On the field.
Ripped
on
the
the
field.
field.
Off of his neck and handed it to him.
100%.
By the
You're
way,
the head coach now.
that just
This
shows
is
that
your
Anthony
boat now.
has no confidence in Raheem Morris then.
He doesn't.
He's not Kyle
He's let us
Shanahan.
know that a couple of times. No, he coaches defense.
Raheem Morris is fine.
He's a defensive
He'll be
guy.
good.
He doesn't do offense.
Well, there you go. You can be the defense coordinator then for Kyle Shanahan.
Last thing here. This is big news.
I could twist anything.
Clearly.
Yeah, you can.
Big news for
Damn right.
college football fans and video game players. The highly anticipated NCAA college football from EA Sports is finally Coming back, there was a teaser trailer today that came out. This is the first time that this game has been around since 2013. I know you guys are probably not going to be diving into this game, but Carey, do you remember playing the game when you were in the game? Or technically, you weren't in the game.
Oh, I was. Yeah, it was me. It was my.
It was you.
I was one of the better fullbacks on the game. You better believe it. Handoff, throw it to him. Oh yeah, buddy. Yeah, it was a good time.
Did you ever play with yourself?
Every day
in the game.
Every day. Every day I played with myself in the game.
It's amazing how good you can get.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
You played with yourself all the time.
Several times.
Exactly.
Yeah. I felt a little embarrassed at first.
Don't. It's
but
natural.
then I was like, you know what? I don't
It's
care.
natural. It's
At all.
normal.
I'm going to just use my guy and play with myself the whole time.
You realize that other people were doing it too.
Yeah,
so
there you go.
the shame and guilt went away.
Other people were playing with me.
There you go.
Play with myself.
That's a good
Did
point.
you ever like playing with other people?
I like playing with myself more.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a different feeling.
It's definitely a different vibe.
We still talking about video games?
Well, yeah, NCAA football, 25, Anthony.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
EA Sports.
That's in the game.
I'm confused.
I like to be curious about things we're talking about.
You curious?
Okay.
All right.
All right.
It's cool. Let me just make sure we're all on the
We
same
love you,
page.
no matter what.
I don't like the way you said that. Sounded very manipulative.
Anthony, I'll tell you right now, when I get this game, I'm going to play as Central Michigan, and we're going to go win a national
you are.
championship.
Chips.
Fire up chips. There we go,
Create your
baby.
Anthony Stalter.
That's right.
He'll be a safety. He'll be my
yeah.
punt returner.
Don't run the ball.
Don't drop it. No.
Don't field it.
On the fumble.
Don't field it.
Stalter
That's fine.
On the fumble.
All right, the Blues. There's been some fans that say, "Hey, why not trade Pavel Buchnevich, or why not explore trade with Colton Parayko?" Jamie will tell you why not. Next on 101 ESPN. Stalter on the fumble. We talked about the trade deadline last week in regards to the Blues, and we did get some people texting in saying, well, if the Blues aren't going to make a deep run, why not try to look to trade guys with either expiring contracts, and there's not many. There's not many that you'd get something significant in return, or somebody that's got an expiring contract next year, like a Pavel Buchnevich. Jamie, I don't know how you feel, but I wouldn't. Trading Pavel Buchnevich right now, I don't think makes a lot of sense. You're trying to make the playoffs. He's one of your key pieces. He's one of your best 200-foot players. I would look maybe to extend him at some point rather than trade him.
Yeah.
But what's your thought? What are your thoughts?
So you're in a tough spot right now because Pavel Buchnevich's value trade-wise will never be higher than right now, prior and at the deadline. Because whoever trades for him is going to get the rest of this season and then all of next year too, and have the ability in the offseason to extend him or re-sign him if they choose to. Mm-hmm. The tough part for the Blues is they're in a playoff battle. So if you trade a guy like Pavel Buchnevich, you're almost tapping out.
Yeah.
Because Buch plays power play, penalty kill, regular shift. He's on the ice at the end of the game. Like, he's a guy for you. He's a dude for you. And if you trade said player, odds are you're not getting a player of equal value back, because if you were, why the heck would they be trading for Buch?
Sure.
So you're going to get a young player or a draft pick or 2 draft picks, and they're not going to help you right now. So I think Doug Armstrong has to monitor his team on a daily basis, specifically game days, and watch and see the results. Because right now, when you look at the Blues, they're in a pretty good spot. 58 points. They're tied with L.A. They're 2 points ahead of Nashville with a game in hand. They're 3 points ahead of Calgary with a game in hand. They're 3 points ahead of Minnesota with a game in hand. So if you win tonight, that extends your lead. Mm-hmm. So then why on earth would you trade players from your active roster that are going to get you into the playoffs? It's a tough one. And then Pavel Buchnevich, his value in the offseason, by the way, will still be high. It won't be as high as at the deadline, but you'll still get a good return on investment if you choose to do that.
Yeah.
I think re-signing him could be problematic. I think he's going to be in that $8 to $9 million range. And that's problematic because I think Army's kind of created a threshold here that Robert Thomas and Jordan Kyrou are going to probably be his highest paid players. Mm-hmm. If that's the case, then, Pavel Buchnevich, and rightfully so, shouldn't be paid more than Robert Thomas.
That's a tough spot.
But he shouldn't be. Like, when you look at it, right, you've got your top scorer, your everything is Robert Thomas, and he's being paid to $8.1 million. So how can you justify Pavel Buchnevich, who's, I'll have to pull it up here, but he's quite a ways behind him statistically, and he's not a center iceman. Center icemen are just more valuable. It's just the bottom line. They play in bigger situations. There's face-offs involved. So the market for Pavel Buchnevich will probably dictate that somebody else will pay more for said player. Unless he wants to take a hometown discount, which I don't know, maybe. Buch is a interesting dude, man. I really like him a lot. He's got an interesting personality. He might just be that guy. Say, I don't really care. Yeah, I'll resign for 7.5 for 4 years or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Who knows? Or he might say, screw you, I want 10.
Sure.
But
you'd be right to either one.
It's up to him.
It's what the market dictates.
And he's earned the right.
Dictates.
His contract's expiring. He's earned the right. He's played well. Yep, you good?
Yep.
Thank you. Could it really? Yeah, no problem. Could it be dependent upon how these 10 games or so go before the trade deadline?
Well, yeah, of course it does.
You got, I think, 7 of those teams are in the playoffs or knocking on the door of the playoffs. If you don't do well and know that this team probably isn't going to make a playoff run, then maybe you're looking to trade Buch, because it also frees up and opens some space for some of the younger guys that could be ascending here soon, correct?
Yeah.
Because you have to find some space for those guys also.
I totally agree with what you're saying, but that's, we're talking 10 games from now.
Right.
And right now,
2 or 3 weeks.
In the now, when I look at the stats, or the standings rather, and I look at your team, I'm not trading him.
Yeah.
And if Army does, like Army's done some of these things before. He traded Paul Stastny before the deadline, or at the deadline rather, than the team was 1 point out of a playoff spot. And players on the team were pissed.
Yeah.
Like, you got rid of one of our best players, and we're trying to make a playoff push. But Army saw value in the trade, and he could forecast that team wasn't good enough to make a run.
Right.
But I would argue that this right now, even Army standing here beside me, I'd say, Army, you missed the playoffs last year, so that was revenue for your ownership group and your fan base, just the excitement of playoffs. That didn't happen, and now you're there. Like, you're right there. You have the opportunity to get in, and your players are talking about how if they get in the playoffs or when they get in the playoffs, they don't really think anybody truly wants to play them. Whether they're crazy or not in what they're saying, they believe it. And if I'm a general manager, I'm going to go, you know what? I'm just going to leave this group alone. And all these other guys that are pending UFAs a year down the road, we'll revisit in the offseason. We'll see how greedy people get, because people will get greedy in the offseason too. The salary cap's going to go up. Somebody's going to have a team that gets eliminated one round short of the Stanley Cup final or gets to the final and they can't get the ball across the goal line. They're going to say, we need a Pavel Buchnevich. And we have a ton of young players and draft picks, so let's go get them. So to me, it's too early to start talking about Pavel Buchnevich being traded, because you're still right there in the play. You are in a playoff spot.
We have the Blues and Oilers game tonight. Pregame starting on 101 ESPN at 6 o'clock, and then the puck will drop at 7. That'll switch to the Blues Radio Network. Again, you can listen to it all right here on 101 ESPN. The Cardinals are considering something that I thought would be stupid a couple of years ago, but now I think it might be smart. I'll tell you what that is next on 101 ESPN. on. Your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler with Jamie Rivers and Carey Davis and Anthony Stalter. So apparently the Cardinals are entertaining the idea of going to a six-man rotation. I think six-man rotations are stupid, guys. Unless you don't have an ace. If you have an ace, you want to make sure that you get to that guy every 5 days or every 5 games, however the schedule works out, to make sure that pitcher stays on track. But they're only talking about potentially navigating a tough early stretch here and then switching to a 5-man. But I don't mind a six-man rotation if you're worried about, 4/5 of your rotation.
So when I read it, because it was written by Derek Gould, Jamie. When I read it, it was written by Derek Gould. And I was like, this is interesting, right? I wondered how many other organizations do that, despite, whatever happens at the beginning of their season. The Cardinals have a rough stretch, a lot of traveling and different time zones and all those things. How many other teams do that? And then my second question was, is this because of the age of your starting rotation? Does that play a factor into why you would do it? Because for me, it would seem like you would save that for mid-season or as you got later in the dog days of summer as opposed to starting the season off. And I'm sure there are plenty of analytical reasons as to why it could be beneficial, but I just wondered how many other teams go that route, and is it because of your age of your starting staff? Does that matter?
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
It's more common than you think, but it's also it's not like half the league does it. I don't think it has anything to do with the age, though. These guys are on 1-year contracts. You pitch them until their arm falls off. I don't think you're worried about that. Plus, you just said to your fan base, we signed these guys so they can eat innings. So I don't think it's an age thing.
But who's the sixth starter?
So,
depending on spring training.
Yeah, here's where I go with it, guys. All right, I look at it and I go, okay, one, you got Sonny Gray, who's supposed to be your number one or at least your ace. If you're not pitching him every 5th day for the money you're paying him, you're a buffoon. So why would you do that? 2, I think it's because the Cardinals don't quite know what to expect from Steven Matz, and so they're kind of like leaving that door open. 3, I just don't think they have any bells right now to say these are our 5 guys. I think that they're kind of hiding behind it so that if Steven Matz isn't good or one of their other guys isn't good, they say, well, we had the 6-man for a reason. And like Zach Thompson or McGreevy or Graceffo or somebody stepped into this spot and surprised us. To me, it's like we're just going to throw it out there for now. And it almost creates this like internal competition for that 5th spot. It doesn't make any sense to me at all. Just say, hey, no, we're going to have a rotation of 5 guys. The 5 best guys will be in the rotation. That's it, bottom line. And we're not going to the 6-man rotation because we signed Sonny Gray to a lot of money. I want that guy every 5 days on the bump, shoving. Bottom line, boom.
And I do wonder how they'll set up the schedule because you're right. I mean, Sonny Gray should stay on track. The last thing that you want is...
And then you got to start screwing some of your older guys who have had a routine for 27 years now.
I don't want to screw it. Jamie, you can screw an old guy if you want, but I don't when it comes to this rotation.
Well, they got a lot of experience. It's where there is value there, Anthony, for sure.
Sure.
Doesn't have to just be all fastballs all the time. Mix it up.
Mix it up a little bit.
Yeah.
I actually think that this is probably just as I think we could kind of take it as it is. They are trying to navigate the early part of the schedule. They may need a 6th starter at some point, and it's they start with the 5 guys and they just roll through it. And then when they do need a 6th starter, they pitch them. Yeah. But that guy may only have 2 starts or 1 start in April. I don't know if this is going to be
bullpen day.
Yeah.
Call it whatever the hell you want.
Sure. But it's just navigating the early part of the schedule. I don't think this is going to be a thing in May.
Is this because they're playing good teams and they already don't have confidence in their starting rotation to give them innings against the Dodgers, Padres, and Marlins?
And I think that's kind of how I think Marsh and I are on the same. Like, what are you telling us?
Then why if you don't have confidence, then why are you still sitting on these 5 guys? Why don't you go out?
Because they told you what they were going to do, and they are people of their words. They got 3. They told you that, and that's what they did.
Well, lie to my face and go get another guy. I'd be fine with that.
You wouldn't, because then they'd be lying.
Go get Jordan Montgomery and say, hey, listen, we lied. Sorry. Did you feel that way?
I find this to be problematic.
I don't think it's a big deal. I think this is going to be one of those things that we talk about because we talk about everything on sports radio. It's going to be something that's not an issue in May. it probably won't even come up.
Or it
I
might
hope
be
not.
front and center.
Because they have.
It's front and center. It's front and center. We won't be talking about
They might
six-man
have a
rotation.
7-man rotation.
Yeah, fine. At this point, I don't care. I don't think the starting rotation is that great as it is. This doesn't bother me. This is a nothing burger to me. Like
Why?
Sonny Gray. Okay, so you got Sonny Gray. You got one guy, and then you got a bunch of other guys that could be okay.
It burns me up. It bothers me.
Why?
Because I watched this team. I told you all yesterday, I'm 42 years old. I've been watching Cardinal baseball for as long as I can remember. Last year was the worst version of Cardinal baseball that I can remember in my lifetime. And if you're telling me that the confidence for this starting rotation is not high because they are older, because now you got to have 6 men to start the season, because we all assume that at some point someone will be injured and have to miss time. If you're telling me that the biggest issue that they had last year is not completely rectified, that is problematic for me.
Carey, all they did was raise the floor of the rotation. That is what the Cardinals do.
We got the ceiling and the floor conversation.
The ceiling is the roof.
They
and the
just
floor.
raised the floor.
No.
That's what they always do. They look at the roster, they look at the bottom of the roster and the middle of the roster more times than not. I'm not saying they don't always look. They never look at the top, because that's not fair, because they did trade for Arenado and Goldschmidt. But to sign right out of the gates Lance Lynn and Kyle Gibson, they are telling you all we care about is raising the floor. That's it. There's no ceiling
Want
here.
to be here.
They wanted to be here.
You know what they did?
We signed them.
They went to the grocery store. They went to go get some milk. But instead of getting the milk that doesn't expire till, March, right? They got the milk that expires in like a week. And that's what they did.
Discounted milk.
The discounted milk.
I mean, it's probably still good past the expiration date.
Right.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But
Just a
once it
little bit.
starts
They gotta smell
smelling
it.
bad,
Yeah.
you got to pour it
Doesn't
out.
smell
But
that
not
bad.
all of them are good.
Oh, no.
So you got 2 of them. You got a good chance of having one that's still good past
That's
the
true.
expiration.
That's a good call. Yeah. But that's what they did. If you're frustrated, you should be frustrated. This is what frustrate Cardinals should frustrate Cardinals fans.
Very
You didn't
frustrating.
go out there and sign Jordan Montgomery or Blake Snell or Aaron Nola. And I realize, look, Aaron Nola re-signed with the Phillies. I'm just throwing out the bigger names here, okay? We don't have to say, well, Aaron Nola signed with the Phillies. I know, but you didn't do anything. You didn't trade for Jamison Tyone.
2 of those guys are still available, Anthony.
I know, but they're not going to get them.
Get them both.
They're not going to get
There's
those
that
guys.
7-man rotation.
Nobody
Do you know
knew.
why they're not going to get those guys? Because the Cardinals don't operate that way. That would raise the ceiling. They don't care about the ceiling. They raise the floor. That's it. Cautious. That's what they are. That's what they've always been under Mo.
Well, why was last year as bad as it was?
Because they
that
severely underestimated how bad the pitching was.
Is that a sign of things to come, though? Like, if that last year, is that
I
the
don't know.
direction
What
that
if
we're
it
going
happens
in?
again?
There we go. What if it happens again?
Carey, it's a question I asked you last
I'm
week.
going to run my head into the table. I'm confused.
Then they better hope that these young guys.
Anthony's done it before.
I certainly have. Twice. Then the guys that they have in the minors, you better have some lightning in a bottle here. That's the answer, because they're not going to get aggressive. Dylan Cease isn't coming through that door. They're not going to be aggressive when it comes to the pitching. They think they're fine. And then they've got all these young guys. Well, okay, if you don't go out and if you're not aggressive in the offseason, I'm fine with that if your young guys can come up and be dudes. I'd rather have that, quite frankly. I'd rather have Tink Hence be the next ace. I'd rather have Michael McGreevy, have it be Tink Hence and Michael McGreevy and, whoever be the bedrock, because those are young cost control guys that you developed. When you have to go out in the free agency and go through trades and the trade market and all that, you're admitting we blanked up in the draft. So now we have to make up for it with either prospects or cash. That's the one thing I don't think fans really realize. You think, oh, they're not trying. No, the teams that, like the Phillies, they had to build this roster. Their farm system sucked. You had to do something. And the owner's willing to pay. But you have to your point, Carey, if you're going to say, well, if the bottom falls out again, like it did last year, yeah, your young guys that you've been developing, they better pitch well, or else it's going to get nasty again. and not fast lane nasty.
There is a difference.
There's a huge difference.
Yes,
One you want, one you don't want.
Correct. 100%. I don't know. I just see a rotation that if you're that confident in what you signed in the offseason and you've been boasting about it, and this should be no doubt. Like, if you wanted to expand, say, look, we have a tough schedule and we might have to go to a sixth guy a couple of times, so be it. But as of right now, we're looking for the 5 best guys to be in our official rotation. Like, I don't know why, like, Mo loves, every year Mo, I feel like he expands the gray area. So that it's just less margin for error. Well, that's not really what I meant.
Payroll did go up.
Yeah.
Did it? It did.
And it's like, it starts with like this, and
scotch.
then by year 5, the gray area is bigger than anything else that they have available.
Right. Chris Kerber is going to join us next. We'll talk a little Blues hockey here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN.
Apply.ficstl.org. That's apply.ficstl.org.
Hey, the weather is great right now, and that is fantastic. But you know what happens when the weather turns? You start to turn that furnace on, you turn it off, you turn it on, you turn it off. If at any point it doesn't respond the way you want to, you know you got an issue, you call the folks at Classic Air Care. Whether it's replacing a furnace, whether it's repairing one, whether it's just maintaining one, or even as we get closer to the spring, when it is time for you to fix your air conditioner, to get the air conditioner set, call the folks at Classic Air Care. Check out their ratings. Check out what the people are saying when they've come to their house. A 4.8 star rating on Google. You don't get much better than that. ClassicAirCare.com. You can book appointments online. They'll come to your house. They'll take care of you the way they take care of their own families. It's Classic Air Care, and again, online at ClassicAirCare.com.
time for Curbside with the voice of the Blues, Chris Kerber. Brought to you by Scott Lee Heating Company, a proud Mitsubishi Electric Elite contractor.
With Carey Davis and Jamie Rivers, I'm Anthony Stalter. Let's head to our 101 ESPN Celebrity Line. We're joined by our guy Chris Kerber, voice of the Blues, who you'll hear tonight on the Blues Radio Network right here on 101 ESPN. Kerbs, how are you?
Anthony, doing good. How are you guys today?
Well, we're doing good. We're excited for this one, although I don't know if you've seen the Oilers play at all. They're pretty good, and they've got some guys that I hear can score, Kerbs. So this one should be interesting tonight at Enterprise Center.
Yeah, you know what, though? Here's the thing, and you got to be excited about this. Look, one, if you're a Blues fan, you're coming to the game tonight, you're excited. I mean, you get to see two of the best players on the planet in McDavid and Draisaitl. You're looking at a team that's firing in all cylinders. At the same time, you're a Blues team that's played really well. You've beaten a lot of good teams here over the last month of hockey, and you're playing with something on the line. So this game has pretty much everything you want in terms of some excitement and drama coming into it.
Curbs, when you watch tonight, obviously, one of the matchups that's going to be very interesting and a lot of fun to watch is probably going to be Colton Parayko out there against Connor McDavid for most of the game. What are you looking for from Colton Parayko when it comes to defending Connor McDavid or even Leon Draisaitl for that matter?
Well, you don't want to see him beat to the inside. I mean, that's the one thing. And we've said this story before, but Darren Pang talked to Connor McDavid a year and a half, 2 years ago it was, and said, who's one of the hardest players that you find to play against in the league? And Connor McDavid said Colton Parayko. He's big. He's got a stick. Even though you think you might be taking him wide with speed, Colton does a great job of still getting the stick of the way and knocking the puck loose of it. The difference is, though, Connor McDavid can possess that puck better than anybody in the league. So look for skating, look for stick, and just look for solid all-around smart play. The other thing, though, is he can't do it by himself, though, Jamie, as you know that if Connor McDavid goes to take, or Draisaitl goes to take Parayko wide, and he knocks the puck away, man, there better be some forwards back-checking their butts off to help regain possession of that puck. Because it's one thing to knock the puck loose, but it's another thing if you give it right back up, and then you're scrambling in your own zone.
Curbs, the Blues got out to a slow start a couple of nights ago against the Maple Leafs and only got 15 shots on goal. That's something that they need to really enforce tonight, trying to get more shots on goal and get more opportunities.
Yeah, well, you're not going to win many games if you don't, Carey. I mean, 15 shots on goal isn't good enough, so I don't know that they have to enforce it. I mean, it's not something they're going, hey, let's get more shots on goal than we did last game. I think the shots on goal total is a little more indicative of the all-around game that they played, right? So I think if they play a better game as a five-man unit up and down the ice, if they play a better puck possession game than they did, they'll naturally just get more shots on goal. So they had very little offensive zone time. And it's as bad as it looked for the St. Louis Blues, man, sometimes I think you just got to tip your cap to the other team, too. And I thought the Maple Leafs played a great game against St. Louis. They didn't give them anything, and then the Blues didn't have enough guys wanting to fight for anything in that game either. So I'm looking for a much different response. And with that, I think will come some of that focus you're talking about to get the puck to the front of the net.
Chris Kerber joins us right now on the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Kerbs, step into Doug Armstrong's shoes here as we draw closer and closer to the NHL trade deadline. What do you think What do you think he wants to see so he has a clear game plan when it comes to attacking the deadline?
To be honest with you, Anthony, I think he's already got the game plan. I think that while there might be one or two things that changes, maybe over a couple things could change between now and March 8th based on injuries, based on needs, based on how markets go, that kind of stuff. I think that Doug Armstrong is still looking at a team that says we're decent, but we're not great, and the goal is to be great. So if anything he's looking to do between now and then, like in other words, do you sacrifice potentially making the playoffs this year if there's a deal to be done that you think is going to make you that much better next year, 2 years, the year after that? And I believe that's the mode that the Blues are in. And to be honest with you, I don't think that philosophy has really changed from day one of the season to now. I believe that was really kind of the focus, and this team's about right where Doug expected it to be. So I got to think that his game plan is pretty much in place, and a lot of this will eventually come down. Like, you know who your UFAs are, right? I mean, you know the guys that are unrestricted, that if there's a way to move them and get assets for them, you're going to do that. The real thing will be is, are there other guys that have term on their contract that the Blues have that another team might want and be willing to pay a price for to improve their team that then improves the Blues? And that's what will define itself here over the next 2 weeks.
Kerbs, Alexei Toropchenko, I love the way this young man plays. You watch all the games, too. What is it about his game that you think has really started to spike for him?
You know what? He's just man, you watch where Alexei was and where he is now. They move him. You know, if you go back to a couple of years ago in that playoff series against Colorado, he at times was getting shifts on the second line. You know, and it was his physicality that is what gave that to him. I think that disappeared slightly for a little bit, and you're starting to see it again when he realizes he can skate terrifically. He's got the size. He's got the hockey smarts too, doesn't he, Jamie? Like, well, I mean, when you've got a coach that's willing to put you out there in the final 90 seconds of a period, and you're one of the main penalty killers for a team, that's where as a third or fourth liner, that's where you get some of that extra candy, and he's delivering on it. And then when he decides to take the puck to the net, he can drop his shoulder, and because of the way it's so much harder, you can't clutch, you can't grab, you can't slash, you can't put a stick on somebody. He can use his size to find some offense, and for him to be knocking on the door of 10 goals this season is absolutely fantastic.
Curbs, I do want to go back a little bit to the trade deadline, and one of the names that keeps getting brought up is Pavel Buchnevich. Now, he's not a free agent next season, but in 25-26. Do you see him possibly being traded this trade deadline? And if he is this team better in 24-25 without him?
All right. No, I don't think that if you trade Pavel Buchnevich, I don't think you're better in 24-25 without him than you are with him. And the reason that I'll say that, if I play that scenario out, Carey, is a team that's going to make a trade for somebody like Pavel Buchnevich is typically going to be a team that thinks that a guy like that can help put you over the edge. You're going to probably pay a little bit more for him because and you're going to have to pay a little bit more for him because you're getting a guy at great value that still has a year on his contract, right? With that said, I think that if you're going to trade Pavel Buchnevich, it's got to cost you an organization's top prospect. You're trading a guy that's capable of 80 points a year. So it's going to cost you a top prospect. And to benefit the Blues, it's got to cost you somebody that I think can come in and play for the St. Louis Blues. So I don't see one of the top teams in the league necessarily giving up on that. So we'll have to wait and see. To me, me personally, like this is a guy that can still be part of your core. Now, you're right. By the time he becomes a UFA and is approaching 30, that doesn't seem to fit in what has been Doug Armstrong's MO lately of signing UFAs. But if you're going to consider trading that guy, it better be a package that blows your socks off. Because as Jamie has said in some of the recent hits we've done, like, is the juice worth the squeeze? And that's a hell of a hockey player, you know, that you're potentially trading. So that to me would have to be a luxury type deal, if anything. I don't know if that makes any sense, but it's like to me, you're talking about your second best all around forward on the team. You don't give those things up lightly.
No, I agree, Kerbs. Another forward that I wouldn't be thinking about giving up anytime soon, maybe if ever, is Jake Neighbors. And, you know, just love this young man's progression. But, you know, again, Kerbs, from your perspective when you watch the games, and I know you're a big fan of Jake as well, you know, what are you seeing from Jake right now that might be somewhat surprising for him this early in his career?
His maturity, to me, he's Barrett Jackman. You know, Barrett Jackman is a young player, came in, and how he looked at the game, how he approached the game. He approached it from a veteran standpoint. He didn't approach it as a kid. I mean, while he approached it with the youthful exuberance of a young guy, there was a veteran understanding. I mean, he knew he had a chance at the Gordie Howe hat trick. He knew it would fire his teammates up to get into a fight. He wasn't afraid to take on a big guy like that. Tom Wilson hit him a couple times in that home game here. you couldn't push him out of the game. There's things like that. He's got an awareness to him that says, hey, look, if you're going to do something crazy and somebody might come after you, get your stick up on, let him go through your stick. Like there is an old soul hockey guy in that young body of his, and I think you see it. You see it in his play. You see it in his hockey smarts. He's going to have some tough games from time to time. He's young, but he doesn't make a lot of big mistakes. Every time they put him in the bottom six, he works his way back up to the top six. And he's having just I think a heck of a first full season in the National Hockey League. This is someone you have to be real excited about. And Jamie, most people may not see this because they're not in the locker room as we are, as you were today. But his social awareness, and what I mean by that is his ability to have a conversation with somebody. Opposing team broadcasters go up and ask him a question, and the way he can articulate, like, He's got social skills as well that help you grow in the game, and that's a big thing for his future.
Kerbs, great stuff. Looking forward to listening to you tonight on the pregame show, and then, of course, on the Blues Radio Network as the Blues host the Oilers.
All right, guys, have an awesome rest of the week.
You too. Thanks, Kerbs.
All right, see you.
That's Chris Kerber here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Blues Oilers tonight, pregame starting at 6 o'clock right here on 101 ESPN. Jamie's got his keys to victory in about 15 minutes, and we'll do a first goal of the game as well. Hot take or hot garbage is next, though. If you've got a hot take or hot garbage for us, send it in to the Air Comfort Service text line at 314-399-9646. Hot take, hot garbage next.
Boys, you can bet the NBA with a no-sweat same-game parlay from our friends over at FanDuel every Thursday with TNT Thursdays. It's dynamite. It doesn't matter if you're new to FanDuel or you already have an account. You'll get bonus bets back if your same-game parlay doesn't win on any NBA team on TNT.
Yeah, Jamie, NBA same-game parlays are the perfect way to combine your bets for a chance at a bigger payday. However, if you want to play, just head to FanDuel.com/fast to bet on the NBA with a no-sweat same-game parlay with TNT Thursdays. That's FanDuel.com/fast.
Yeah, then you can make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. Carey's been following the NBA this season pretty closely. He's made some good picks. The Warriors last night didn't come through for you, Carey, but
they were up by 15.
Yeah, I saw at one point. I'm like, Carey's going to cash this one.
And they lost.
But you know what? More action tonight. You got 3 games ahead of the NBA All-Star Game weekend, so it's going to be a lot of fun. Again, FanDuel.com/fast is where you want to take advantage of that promo code. Must be 21 or older and present in Illinois. Minimum 3-leg parlay required. Refund issued is non-withdrawable bonus bets which expire 7 days after receipt. Max refund $5 unless otherwise specified. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Blues are back in action tonight, taking on the Edmonton Oilers, who are 8-2 in their last 10 games. Pregame for that one starts at 6. Puck drop is at 7. And you can catch all the action right here on 101 ESPN. We just talked with voice of the Blues right here on the Blues Radio Network, Chris Kerber. If you missed that interview or if you missed anything from today's show, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com. Check out the free 101 mobile app. Just head to the podcast page. You'll find all of our interviews and full shows there, and it's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. We have hot take or hot garbage coming up next, so if you have a hot take, send it our way to the Air Comfort Service text line 314-399-9646. Hot take or hot garbage coming up next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Boom! Hot take. Time to play hot take or hot garbage here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Carey Davis, James Rivers, and Anthony Stalter. If you have a hot take that you'd like to send it into the Air Comfort Service text line at 314-399-9646. What do you got, Marsh?
All right, let's start off with this one. This is not from the text line. This is from Ryan Dixon, who writes for Sportsnet, and he had a trade scenario on Sportsnet. I wanted to get your opinion on it. Here we go. This is going to the Anaheim Ducks. Forward, Jimmy Snuggerud, St. Louis 2024 top 10 protected first pick. And defenseman Marco Scandella for Trevor Zegras. Hot take or hot garbage?
Hot garbage. Why would you make that trade? Because Jimmy Snuggerud is supposed to be every bit as good, maybe even better, than Trevor Zegras. So why add in another first-round pick? Like, if you're going to make that trade, it would be Snuggerud for Zegras straight up. First-round pick for first-round pick, sniper for sniper. Mm-hmm. Why am I sweetening the pot for that guy? Right. His own team has him on the trading block. Why do you think he's out there right now available?
Yeah.
There's a reason, Anthony. He's young. He's talented. All these things. Why would Pat Verbeek and the Anaheim Ducks not want to lock this guy down for life? There's a reason. I don't know what that reason is, but if someone calls me and offers me a young star like that, I'm going, why? Why? Right,
what's wrong?
What's wrong?
What's
right?
wrong? What's wrong with him?
Why are you offering? Why is he? You're a team that's rebuilding.
Yeah.
You need players like this,
yeah.
Yet you're offering him in a trade. I think I'll pump the brakes.
Something doesn't make sense.
Yeah, because I'm not calling people saying, hey, here's Jimmy Snuggerud.
Right.
So why are you offering Zegras?
Yeah.
So here's a little explanation for it.
It better be one.
This is what Ryan Dixon had to say. The relationship with Zegras has obviously soured after a summer of tough contract negotiations and a horrible injury-marred year for the young American. With Mason McTavish, Leo Carlson, and Cutter Gauthier up the middle, the Ducks are absolutely set at center for the next decade. Why not add Snuggerud to flank and hope he lives up to the very tantalizing potential he's shown?
Boy, sign me up for a young guy who's had some issues and some injuries. Well, I can't wait. Carey, really watch my hamstrings while I run to that one. No thanks.
Awesome.
Pass.
All right, from the 618, hot take or hot garbage. 3 Cardinals starters will win 12 or more games.
Oh, that's hot garbage. Nobody even wins games anymore. Starters don't win games anymore. You got to win a game. You got to pitch through 6, don't you?
Did they win last year?
Yes.
You got to pitch through 6, Carey.
Or
12
no, that's
or
quality
more.
start.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
5.
Yeah.
Pitch through 5. That's right. You're right. Quality start.
Well, they
Quality
didn't have
start would
quality
be
starts
6
either, so
with
you're okay with that.
Yeah.
You didn't. You were right.
I'm
They didn't
not-
have many
So
of
you want
those.
Right.
3 pitchers at 12 wins? Yeah. I'm sorry, guys.
That's hot garbage.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Let's just
That's 36 wins just by.
look at last year.
Don't look at last year. I'm looking at last year right now.
I feel
So
like
you got-
12 wins is very obtainable.
They didn't have one guy.
They didn't have one
that
guy
had
at 10
12.
last year.
Miles had
Not
9.
one.
He let led the team.
He had a tough year.
Let's further it.
Okay.
How many did
Let's go
Lance Lynn have, and how many did Kyle Gibson have?
Kyle Gibson had 15, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't know. That's what I'm
And he
asking.
was pitching for a good team.
Oh, Anthony, this is a good team.
Are
Ish.
the Orioles good? Not sure.
The Orioles are very good.
And they've still got more.
Lance Lynn.
Yeah.
Lance Lynn did he have 13 wins last year?
He had last year. He had 7.
Oh,
Wait, sorry, 7 with the
13.
Dodgers and 6 with the White Sox. Give him 13.
That's 13.
All right.
So 2 years ago, Miles Michaelis had 12. Wainwright had 11.
When's the last time that happened?
That's exactly what I'm trying to do here. Wainwright had 17 in 2021. The next guy, Alex Reyes, had 10, and he was a reliever. Flaherty had 9. In 2020, now to be fair, that was the COVID year. So 2020, let's see here, boys. 2020 regular season. Wait, no, that was the COVID year. So let's go to 2019. 16 wins for Dakota Hudson in 2019.
Yeah,
14 for Wainwright. 11 for Gant. So they didn't even do it that year. 2018 regular season.
When's the last time they had 3?
Michaelis had 18. Michael Walker had 8. In 2017, Walker had here you go. Found it. 2017, Walker, 12. Wainwright, 12. Carlos Martinez, your guy, 12.
They
Missed
got
the
to the
playoffs.
12.
So this hasn't happened since 2017. I'm going to say hot garbage.
Yep, I'm with you.
I'm just going to go with, I mean, it didn't happen in 2016. It did happen in 15 for the Cardinals. In 14, it happened. Nope, didn't happen in 14. So two times since 2015.
Sounds like you don't
10 years.
believe.
It sounds
No,
that way,
I don't.
Marsh.
And you haven't been believing for a decade
You
now.
don't even have to say sounds like. You can just say, I don't believe that they're going to get, the 3 starters are going to get 12 wins for the Cardinals next year.
I bet all 3 guys they brought in get at least 12.
Oh, boy.
I'll take that action.
Oh, boy.
From the 636, hot take or hot garbage, the Cards have fixed their 27-plus blown saves going into the season.
Well, it can't get any worse, so yes, hot take.
I mean, it could get worse.
It probably,
it could, but it
could.
won't. It won't.
It shouldn't.
No. I'll say hot take for me.
I mean, the bar was like, you just had to step over
Carey,
it.
27 blown saves.
Hey,
If you get
okay, hot
26, it's
You're
better than 27.
Okay, let's take it. Hot take. I'm with you.
Yeah, I'm gonna say hot take too. I think they improved the pen. I think they did. I think they improved the pen. Last year was ugly. This year they got more late inning options. Hot take.
Got to get there, though.
You do have to get there. Yeah. Do you want me to go over the wins?
No, we're good.
Okay. All right.
Did a heck of a job earlier, though.
Thank you.
From the 314 hot take, the Chiefs will three-peat and Mahomes will win Super Bowl MVP, making him better than Tom Brady, even if he doesn't win another Super Bowl.
Last half of that hot garbage. First half of it, hot take. He's going to win next year, but he's fallen short here of Brady. He didn't beat Brady either.
No, he never did.
But they're winning next year.
I'll say hot garbage.
Right now?
Yeah.
I'll say hot garbage just because I think it's really, really freaking hard to do that. As a football team, that's a grind. They're gonna. That means they will have played the most games of anybody in the 3-year span because they've had different opponents in the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot, man. I'm gonna say hot garbage.
I'm gonna say hot take.
Thank you.
Eric Bieniemy will be back. He gets those guys fired up.
He did talk to the team.
He talked to them before the AFC Championship
Ravens game. Yeah.
And they said they had goosebumps listening to him. He needs a job. They need an OC, maybe.
So Mahomes didn't do it for you. Bieniemy possibly returning to KC did it for you.
Do you know how much fire he's going to come back with? Come on. Talk to me about it. Talk about it.
The Chiefs won. They already did. They already won next year.
I don't think so.
Mahomes.
I mean, who are they going to play? Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
A lot of teams.
Here's an interesting one.
New Orleans.
Yeah, Falcons. A revamped Falcons team.
How can New Orleans make it to the Super Bowl when they're losing to the Vikings in the first round?
It's a good
There
point.
you go.
It's a great point. From the 636, hot take or hot garbage, Braden Shen has been the best Blues captain this century.
I'm going to say hot garbage.
Whoa.
And it's not because Shenner's not a good captain. One, it's a sample size, man. we're half a season in, and you have a guy named Alex Pietrangelo that literally hoisted the cup over his head, qualifies him pretty good. You had Chris Pronger. I mean, this century. Oh, no, you didn't have Chris. Yeah, you did have Chris Pronger. You had Al McInnes. I'd say those guys are pretty good leaders as well. I think that the possibility for Braden Shen to be an all-time leader is absolutely there. But it's a little too early to say he's the best in this century.
Don't forget Eric Brewer, too.
Brewer's a hell of a guy. You know what the problem is with Eric Brewer? Brewer's a good guy. He was a hell of a hockey player. People forget he played for Team Canada. Like, of all the players you could pick from, Eric Brewer was one of them. The only thing that problem is that people associate him in the Chris Pronger trade. You traded Pronger for Brewer. No, that's not how it went down. You traded Pronger for half the Oilers' team. Brewer ended up being one of those guys because Jeff Witka never amounted to being a difference maker, and other guys that they got in that trade. The only guy you focus on is Eric Brewer. It wasn't 1-for-1, guys. What's that other trade? People think that... What's the trade that happened recently? People are like, they traded that one guy for... No, there's like 5 guys involved in the trade. I can't remember now, but you get my point.
Yeah.
You isolate one player.
Now you got me interested, though.
Maybe it was you know what I'm thinking about? I'm thinking about the Juan Soto.
Oh, the Juan Soto.
Just give up Dylan Carlson.
Yeah.
No.
It would have been Jordan Walker, Dylan Carlson, Nolan Gorman, McGreevy, one other pitcher. Yeah.
All right, final really one here. From the 618, hot take or hot garbage. City SC can correct their second half of the season struggles from last year and still have a top 4 finish in the West this season.
Oh, hot take. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
This City team is absolutely ready to roll. I love the offseason that they've had, some of the guys that they've added. Yeah, they had to make some difficult moves when it comes to, subtracting from their budget and their salary and things like that.
There's always tough moves in the offseason.
But this front office is incredible for St. Louis City SC. The coaching staff, they know the type of players that they want on their roster and therefore on their pitch. They've got great leadership. Their style of play fits the players on the roster. The City SC is ready to roll again.
And they'll have a year under their belt. I think
absolutely.
I don't know, what happened come playoff time. It just didn't click for them. They didn't get after it quick enough. Sporting KC did, and so they'll have a year under their belt and they'll be ready to roll.
Yeah, they'll learn from last year.
By the way, we got a question from the Snake Pit Gatorbait. Great question. Marshy, whatever happened with the Waffle House Challenge?
There's another question on there. Also, did Marshy take his punishment?
That was not on the Snake Pit.
Somebody texted earlier.
Did Marshy take his punishment
Marsh
yet?
still has, six shots coming?
Yeah.
Jamie's got shots coming,
got shots coming.
Yep.
Jamie has seen a bunch of waffles.
And Jamie's got at least 24 waffles to eat.
Did Marsh ever serve his punishment for either the Pick'em Challenge or the Waffle House?
No,
Who said that?
He did not.
This is...
No, you can't block them from the chat, Marshy.
Who is it?
Yeah.
I would never block anyone from the Snake Pit.
Wictolia?
Sure.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
I haven't even seen this person ever in the Snake Pit. Now they want to jump in and tell me that I'll take it.
First of all, welcome.
Welcome
to the Snake
Pit. We're listening. We're
Second
watching.
of all,
we're paying
Marsh. Yeah, you got to serve your punishment. Jamie, you got to serve your punishment.
I'm waiting. I'm not going to walk down the hallway, though, and do it myself. That's on you guys.
Hey, when I was a kid, and my dad said, "Go get my belt."
Right.
I really want to get it. I don't know. Challenge you to find your own belt. No,
that makes it worse though. When they have to go walk and get their own belt, you just go grab it and get it over.
All right, it's Fastlane on 101 ESPN.
Too while I'm at it.
I'll do that. You know what? I'll go get the belt. I'll dole out my own punishment then. Keys to victory plus first goal of the game tonight. We'll do that next on 101 ESPN.
For commercial HVAC work, go to aircomfortservice.com. That's aircomfortservice.com.
Hey, it's Carey, and let me tell you about my good friends over at Scrap Mart Metals. If you're a contractor or you own a business that needs recycling, well, then you need to learn about Scrap Mart Metals. They are tailor-made for your business to meet your schedule and your budget. Job site cleanup for contractors can be a mess. You need to set up a business account with Scrap Mart Metals to recycle that metal. It's one less thing that you have to do during cleanup. If you want to have that heavy equipment and you know how frustrating it is to have those repairs, when it comes time to end your suffering, Scrap Mart Metal will get it out of your way. They will haul your equipment to one of their locations and get you a check the same day. Or if you're one of those do-it-yourselfers, you like to move the equipment yourself, they have 3 convenient locations, Valley Park, Peevely, and Jonesburg. If it's metal, they'll buy it, copper, wire, brass, stainless steel, aluminum, batteries, electric motors, steel, cast iron, and so much more. It's recycling made easy. Visit them today at scrapmartmetals.com. My guy Lucas can talk to you about setting up a business account. It's really simple. Reach out to him at scrapmartmetals.com and tell him Carey sent you.
Oilers tonight. Pregame starting at 6 o'clock here on 101 ESPN. Jamie Rivers, before he heads out to go do some Bally Sports Midwest work, he's got some keys to victory, about 72 of them. So, Jamie, without further ado.
Well, I do have 72, but we're gonna highlight maybe 5 of them here.
All right, fair enough.
All right. First key to the game, which is probably an obvious one, limit your
score.
Well, yeah, okay. Then we got okay. And let me add on to this one.
Score more than them.
Score.
Yeah.
Okay, got that out of the way. The next one is
Don't allow. No,
okay.
Go ahead.
No, we do.
It's the 7 now.
Okay, fine, Anthony.
I'm done.
Clear it.
Go ahead.
Number 2.
Thank you.
Okay?
Clear it. Yes.
Third key to the game is limit turnovers. This team's an absolute juggernaut offensively, and if you turn over the puck at either blue line, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. So put the pucks into places where they can't retrieve it or they can't create team offense, and your team can get the puck and try to battle back and grab it and make the other team play defense. So limiting the turnovers is on this list. The next one would be always know where Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl are on the ice. Take inventory. If you're any player who hops over the boards and you don't already see McDavid and Draisaitl on the ice, just know that if you're a third or a fourth liner, that when you go on the ice, their coach might make a quick change to get the matchup that he wants, and all of a sudden McDavid's on the ice, and shame on you if you don't know that he's out there. And if he's out there, two things. One, defend real well. Two, get the heck off the ice. Get the other guys on the ice that are supposed to be out there to defend this guy. But no...
Off the ice!
Get off the ice! Get off! I'm trying! Yeah, just like that, Anthony. So know where those guys are. Next key to the game here, Chris Kerber mentioned it too, is you got to defend the middle of the ice. These guys live by getting through the middle of the ice and scoring goals. Connor McDavid will come down the wall at 117 miles per hour, and then one little shimmy shake, and he's in the middle of the ice, and now he's got a great scoring opportunity. So as hard as it is from a discipline standpoint, when he gets wide on the defense, they almost have to make sure they leave him out there. Let him have a half a step on you and let him skate into less of a shooting percentage area. Because as he gets closer to the net at a wider angle, it's harder to score. It's just a proven fact.
It's kind of like a cornerback leading you to the sidelines. If you want to go to the sidelines.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well said. That's a great comparable, Anthony. So defend the middle of the ice very well. Pucks to the net, man. Would you have 16 shots on net the other night? 15 shots, 16 shots, 1 goal. 15 saves for the other goal. He had a tough night.
I think he had 14 saves.
Oh, maybe it was 14.
Yeah.
Either way, not great.
No.
Okay?
Like anything below 20.
Anything below 25, quite honestly, is not a very good night. So the Blues got to get back on the game plan of getting pucks and bodies to the net, but pucks preferably first and foremost. So got to do that to generate a little more offense. And the last one is compete. I don't feel like the team competed the way they should have. In fact, I know they didn't, but this has been a big part of their success here under Drew Bannister is that they've had this accountability and this compete, and that they've been in the games, and even in some of the games where they've lost, they've been a good competitive team. Get back to that. Get back to that. You can't have the narrative surrounding your team, a team that didn't show up or a team that took the night off. No, their team wasn't good enough that night, but we know we played a game. Like, that's the one thing that you always have to kind of hang your hat on, is that the other team may have beaten you, but they don't necessarily want to play you again tomorrow.
Yeah.
And that's where I need the Blues to be in that spot. So my last key is compete.
All right. Well, you know what time it is.
Let's go, boys.
We need you to score more goals.
Get those loose pucks.
Thomas to Cairo. Score! Goal!
No big deal. Game winner.
Jamie, you have honors with 3, followed by Carey with 2, Marsh 1, me 1.
Yeah, the board's wide open. Let's see here. I still like Jake Neighbors. I still like Jake Neighbors. He didn't have a great game in Toronto the other night, but not a lot of guys did. The only guys named Torchenko, Walker, and Binnington, quite honestly, had really good games. So I'm going to stick with the kid. Talking to him this morning, and, you know, he's from the Calgary area, and he grew up an Oilers fan. So that'd be like saying you're from St. Louis, grew up a Cubs fan, by the way. So you know he was a tough kid growing up. But this game is going all the way back home. They got the Canadian TV guys here and all that. I see Jake Neighbors having himself a hell of a game.
All right. Carey.
Well, I've been talking a lot about Pavel Buchnevich and, you know, whether or not he's going to be here. People have been talking about him a lot, and so I think that I'm going to go with Jordan Cairo.
I like what you did there so much.
Marsh.
Anthony's pretzeled.
Give me Nathan Walker.
Oh!
I mean, he laid out Ryan Reeves the other day.
Hell of a hit. You notice, by the way, did you notice there's no retribution for that?
Well, because Ryan Reeves the day before was saying that hockey needs to be more physical.
He said make hockey violent again.
Make violence,
But
yes.
What I liked about it is it didn't have to have retribution. Like,
no, it was good. It was
we used
good
to hit
hit.
guys all the time, just level them. And in a good, clean body check, you didn't have guys having to fight every time you had a damn hit.
Yeah.
and Nathan Walker lit him up, and Revo had a chance to skate right by him after. Even the whistle was like right there. I was like, man, you know what? Hat tip, you got me.
Good
You got to respect that, you know? Sorry, go ahead, Andrew.
So you went with Nathan
Andrew?
Walker?
Yes, Nay-Dub, as Randy Carricker likes to call him.
No, I was talking to Andrew.
Sorry.
I'm going to
Andrew
Carey and I
Stalter.
argued.
Well, we call him Andrew Stalter sometimes.
Oh, yeah, no, that's Andy.
Andy
way
Stalter.
different.
Andrew Marsh, Andy Stalter.
Not my name.
It's written right on your shoe.
No, that says Adidas.
That's never mind. I almost did it. Go ahead, Ed. Whoever that was.
I'm Anthony. I've been your radio partner for about 5-ish years. I'm going to go with Alexei Toropchenko. He seems to have the hot hand here when it comes to the first goal. So I'm just going to ride the hot guy, DeMarco Farr style.
There you go.
Yeah.
Shit, it's a big guy, too.
Yeah, Alexei Toropchenko. Jamie, we'll see you, buddy.
Yes. Thanks, boys. Have a good one.
You too.
Good luck
Valley
in the
Sportsman
Gauntlet,
West.
by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, Armin, right? Armin is back for round 2. You got
Armin Hammer.
Yeah, he hammered Mark. Well, not really. It was a walk-off win yesterday for Armin, but it was a
Do you think he's armed
revenge
to the
spot.
2-year-old again today?
Oh, yeah. It's his good luck charm.
You have to be.
And why have kids if they're not going to be like your good luck charm
Well,
for radio contest?
lots of reasons you have kids. Anthony.
Gauntlet next on 101 ESPN.
Anthony, we've got our guy Stewie from Stewart's American Mortgage Corporation on the line. Stewie, there are a lot of things that you educate us on. We talk about it all the time, and Anthony and I, we know exactly where to go when we need answers. But today, Stewie, I need you to tell me about the retail sales report.
You know what, Jamie? 2 days ago, the rates skyrocketed because, lo and behold, the report came out that maybe the Federal Reserve wasn't going to cut rates as soon as they were going to. Inflation was higher. GDP is growing. Jobs are pretty good. All of a sudden, the ESPN customer calls me and says, hey, I bought my house. I'm at 7.5%. Can I refinance with the bagel and get a lower rate? And he called me 2 days ago, and I said, wait, hold out, because this is kind of a yo-yo. He did his application with me. Everything was set to go. And I said, don't lock it yet. Wait for a second or two. Today's sales report, worse than expected. That's an indication that the economy is not doing as well as what we thought. So 1 minute yes, 1 minute no. But what happened was interest rates took a dive. And when they took a dive, we locked in the rate 0.25% than we could have 2 days ago. Bam, he's saving another $60 a month because we were steady, patient, and ready to go. That's the key. Apply, get ready, and when the opportunity comes, I will call you. You don't have to watch it. And say, lock it now.
This is what it's like to have an expert on your side for something that you may not be familiar with. And I certainly don't. Jamie certainly doesn't know. That's why we have Stewie. You need to call him because he's all over this. And when it comes to putting you in a good spot, a great spot, in fact, to save you money over the long haul when it comes to a loan or your mortgage, Stewie's there for you. 314-324-4440. If you missed that number, which is his personal cell phone number, you can Google the bagel loan. Stewie, keep up the great work.
Have a good night. Thanks.
NMLS number 226715.
warriors. 4 categories, 1 challenger. Can you master the Gauntlet?
The Gauntlet is powered by Master, your hometown source for business communications for more than 30 years. Visit mastor.com.
Time for the Gauntlet here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Carey Davis and Andrew Marsh. I'm Anthony Stalter, and we welcome in Armin for round 2. What's up, Armin?
Hey, guys. How we doing? Thanks for having me again.
Sure. You got the 2-year-old in the car again?
No, I'm flying solo, so no luck today.
Oh, no. Okay. All right. Well,
but I do want to let you guys in on a little secret. Jamie, my 2-year-old was a Swiftie fan, and she apparently is a Swiftie fan.
She is a Swiftie fan.
Okay. All right. There you go. So perfect tiebreaker to win on then yesterday.
Yeah.
All right, Armin, round 2. Would you like to take on Carey or me?
Let's go with Carey.
Carey Davis is up. Here we go.
See you soon.
Carey. All right, Carey's making his way into the cone of silence. Armin, you know what's next. Go ahead and tell Marsh to spin that wheel.
Marsh, spin that wheel.
All right, you've only had random, so I'm assuming anything but random at this point, right?
That is correct. I'm not even going to say the word. We'll just see what the wheel lands on.
Well, not saying it did not work. Random is your category.
Oh, gosh, no way.
Unreal. Sorry, Armin. Nope, you're going to get 4 random questions. Carey's going to get the same 4 random questions. Each are going to be worth 2 points unless you ask for the options, and then those questions become worth 1 point. Armin, are you ready?
Yes, sir. Let's do it.
Okay. Question 1. In a traditional pickleball game, the first team to reach how many points wins? In a traditional pickleball game, the first team to reach how many points wins?
Let's do the options.
10, 11, or 15?
10, 11, or 15. I'm going to go with 11, final answer.
Question number 2. Name the American chess player who became the youngest grandmaster in history when he won the title in 1958.
I'll take the options again.
Options are Derek Steinham, Paul Morphy, or Bobby Fischer.
Let's go with a final answer.
Derek Steinham.
All right, question number 3. According to BBC Wildlife Magazine, what type of bird laid the largest egg on record?
I'm going to go with an ostrich, final answer.
Question number 4. Whose 1998 banger, Too Close, finished that year as Billboard's top single in the U.S.?
I'm going to need the option.
Your options are Blackstreet, Next, or Drew Hill.
Say the answers one more time. I apologize.
So you have Blackstreet, Next, or Drew Hill.
Let's go with next, final answer.
All right. Well, welcome back, Carey, from the Cone of Silence. Armin, how you feeling?
Not great considering it's random again.
All right, Carey's making his way back from the Cone of Silence right now, putting on his headphones. CD.
Yeah.
Your category.
All right.
Random.
Come on. Seriously?
Armin got random again. Yep. Which means you have random.
Oh, my God.
Marsh, tell him.
Pack a lunch.
All right.
Question number 1, CD. In a traditional pickleball game, the first team to reach how many points wins?
I would know this if we ever had our pickleball challenge that Brooke Grimsley had talked about. We didn't do this. All right.
No, you would have got whooped. That's all I know.
I don't know. We might have taken. Anyways, give me the options, please. I have no clue.
We play to win.
All right. Well, so do I.
Your options are 10, 11, or 15.
Well, I wasn't going to say any of those. I was thinking 21.
That's blackjack.
Yeah, I know. 10, 11. Let's go 15. Final answer. All right, yeah.
Question number 2. Name the American chess player who became the youngest grandmaster in history when he won the title in 1958.
Oh. Is it Bobby Fischer? That's a guess. It sounds right, though. Hope that's his name. Final answer, Bobby Fischer. I think. It's going to be somebody else. Go ahead.
Question number 3. According to BBC Wildlife magazine, what type of bird laid the largest egg on record?
This is ridiculous. Okay, give me the options.
Ostrich, emu, or a wattled crane?
Well, I was going to say pterodactyl, so clearly that wasn't on there. They need to do some better research because I'm sure those pterodactyl eggs were large.
They have no way to measure that.
Exactly. So it's not right?
I don't know.
I could be right.
They were pretty big in Jurassic Park 3.
That's what I'm saying. Emu, ostrich, or what is the last one?
Wattled crane.
Oh, I have no
An
clue.
ostrich, an emu, or a wattled crane.
My first answer was going to be ostrich, so let's go with ostrich.
All right. Final answer?
Final answer.
Question number 4. Whose 1998 banger, Too Close, finished that year as Billboard's top single in the United States?
1998?
Mm-hmm.
Too Close. Oh, man. Give me the options, please.
Options are Blackstreet, Next, or Drew Hill.
Oh, God. It wasn't Drew Hill. Nah, let's go Next.
Final answer?
Final answer.
All right, let's go over these. Armin versus CD. CD, how you feeling?
Meh.
Okay. Whose 1998 banger, Too Close, finished that year as Billboard's top single in the U.S.? Armin, you said Next. CD, you said Next. Correct answer is?
It was also the name of a great VH1 show, Next.
Both of you needed the options, so we have a 1-1 tie. According to BBC Wildlife magazine, what type of bird laid the largest egg on record? Armin, you said ostrich. CD, you said ostrich. Correct answer is?
It is an ostrich.
But Armin did not need the options for that one, so he's got a 2-1 lead. In a traditional pickleball game, the first team to reach how many points wins? Armin, you said 11. CD, you said 15. Correct answer is?
It is 11.
It is 11, and Armin did need the options, so he has a... 3-1. Let's see here. 4...
Is it 3-1?
4-2 lead.
4-2?
Yeah, because you got ostrich right.
Okay.
You got Next right. CDs, you got 2. Armin, 4-2.
Okay.
Name the American chess player who became the youngest grandmaster in history when he won the title in 1958. So here's the deal on this. Carey, you did not choose the options. You said Bobby Fischer. Armin, you have a different answer. You went with Derek Steinham.
Never heard him.
You would if you took the options. If it's Bobby Fischer, for the second straight day, we're going to walk it off. If it's literally any other human being in the history of the world, Carey loses today.
Well, when you put it that way.
Armin.
Walk it off.
It was Bobby Fischer. Carey gets 2 points, ties it up. It is a 4-4 tie between Armin and CD today.
Nice job, Carey.
Thank you, Armin. All right.
Armin, you already know how this works, but I'll explain it to the listeners here. Carey is going to write down his answer. Armin is going to hold off on his answer. The closest to the pin wins. Here's your tiebreaker question again. Armin, hold off. In what year did Germany surrender to Allied forces, effectively ending World War II? In what year did Germany surrender to Allied forces, effectively ending World War II? Carey,
I need Matthew Rocchio here. I think that's wrong.
All right, Carey has his answer. Armin, what's yours?
1925. Final answer.
All right. Closest to the
I don't even know what
Penguins.
that
Said 1925?
1925.
Armin said 1925. CD, you wrote down.
1936.
So if it's 1936 or higher, Carey wins. It's closer to 1925. Armin wins, and he advances to the third round. Marsh, in what year did Germany surrender to the Allied forces, effectively ending World War II?
1945.
Armin.
You have chosen poorly.
You lose.
You got the 19 right. You got the 5 right. just not the 4. Armin, great effort. I thought for sure the way that it played out that you had 4 that you would be in good shape, but CD came to play today. Sorry, man.
Hey, CD, good job.
Good
Thanks
job,
for
Armin.
the fight. One quick thing. My daughters are listening. Want to give them a quick shout-out, and my beautiful wife at home. And I was also told to let you guys know that you'll all be receiving your very own Taylor Swift bracelets.
No.
Nice. All right. Well, thank you. We appreciate that,
it.
Armin. And shout out.
On. I really appreciate it. I wish you guys all the best. Carey, very well job done. Good job.
Thank you, sir. Same to you.
Thanks for listening, Armin. Thanks for playing.
Thank you, guys. Take care.
You too.
Bye-bye.
One of the nicest guys ever,
Very
CD.
nice.
What the hell?
Nah, I'm sorry.
Wow.
I apologize.
How's it feel, Carey?
Yeah,
How's it feel?
How's it feel?
How's it feel to be
channeling
Marsh
my
here?
inner Marsh.
Unbelievable.
1945.
Congratulations. 1945.
Somebody said our history teachers are in shambles right
I thought
now.
you guys, I was preparing for a second tiebreaker because
When
I thought
I
you
wrote
both would get that right.
1936, I was like, I knew the.
Well, then I started thinking, did Anthony say World War I and not World War II?
I did not. No. Nope, I did not. World War II.
Yep.
By the way, the text line is letting me know that the show Next was on MTV, not VH1. So sorry about that. Did you guys?
Yeah, I remember that show.
Did you
I don't
ever
remember that.
see that show?
No.
So, funny show. It's a dating show. So let's say you're the person who's dating. A group of women would come off of the bus, right? And immediately, if you didn't like them, you say, next.
Yeah.
And then the next person would come off. And then if you liked them, though, you would if you liked
none
them,
of us. Okay.
you would then go on a date until you saw a red flag, and you could be in the middle of that date and just go, next.
Really?
Yeah.
Yep. Wow. You can start from square one.
Yep.
The only dating show I remember watching on MTV was the one that was what was her face?
Tila Tequila?
No.
Oh, no.
This is going back. Some of the Hearts.
For the Love of Ray J?
Oh, are you talking about
Jenny
Flavor of
McCarthy.
Love?
No.
Oh.
Jenny McCarthy was on.
Oh, that was VH1, wasn't it?
Which one?
Flavor of Love.
Flavor
was
of
VH1.
Love. There was Rock of Love with.
There's one on MTV. The text line will help. There was one on MTV. Jenny McCarthy was on it. Something Hearts.
I have no clue.
No, nothing. Okay. Go to hell then.
Nah.
Okay, fair enough. All right. Is the bullpen going to be better this year for the Cardinals? Boy, it better be. That's next on 101 ESPN.
Hey, it's Carey, and if you are in the need of new windows, well, now's the perfect time to reach out to Window Nation because you can replace all of those windows and get 50% off of all style of windows and pay nothing with no interest for 2 full years. Now is the perfect time to protect your family from the elements, lower your energy costs, and upgrade the look and feel of your home. New windows give your home a great value, and your neighbors will be envious, peering in, trying to figure out what you did to your home. You put new windows in from Window Nation. Window Nation is offering those 50% off of any style, and it can be done in 1 day or less. Not only that, they will also offer a lifetime warranty on those windows. As I said earlier, 0 down, 0 interest, make no payments for 24 months. Reach out to them today at 866-90-NATION or visit them online at windownation.com. Window Nation has installed over 200,000 windows just last year, 96% of them needing no follow-up service. All they do is windows. They're experts. Reach out to them today if you need those new windows to keep your hot air in or the cold air out. 866-90Nation or online at windownation.com.
So, of course, right before we went to break, or right as we were breaking, my wife, Kristen, texted me. She goes, singled out with like 1 million exclamation points. And then she it's all caps, singled out. We have a 30-second delay, so I didn't see the text.
Yeah.
I know we also had a lot of people texting it. Yeah, singled out was the name of the MTV show with Jenny McCarthy. Do you remember that one?
Vaguely. I kind of remember it, but I would have to see it to know it.
I can't remember exactly what they had to do. Like they couldn't see the person or something. I don't know.
I do remember Next, though. Next was an intriguing one.
That I don't remember.
They just say next in the middle of the conversation. You know what? Next. Get out of here.
Because that works out
I don't want to talk to you anymore.
I was also told by the text line informed us that, and I forgot about this, if you did make it like forever, like however many minutes you made it, you like get money.
Oh, really?
For it. And then I think at the end, if you get chosen, you can then say
yes,
next.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yes, I do remember that.
Like I
didn't like this guy.
I'm glad I made it. I worked his ass. Now I'm getting rid of him. Seems healthy.
Give me the money.
Yeah.
Show me the money.
Always.
I'll take the money and the next guy because this guy's a dope. All right, the Cardinals bullpen, is it going to be better? Well, boy, it has to be better. I also think it will be. Ryan Helsley returns. John King returns. Giovanni Gallegos returns, but they're going to have some different names here. Ryan Fernandez, Jacob Barnes, Andrew Kittredge, Keenan Middleton. I mean, they've got some guys here that I think adds to the back end that you can use in late game situations. I didn't mention Jojo Romero, who's also going to be back. Plus, you don't know if some of the young guys make the bullpen, like a Zach Thompson or a Michael McGreevy. You can see them make the bullpen and then eventually turn into a starter, as opposed to going down to Memphis and having to wait patiently, pitch well, wait patiently, wait for their opportunity. But I think when it comes to the bullpen, Ollie Marmol's going to have more options here late in games.
I think last year, some of it was just bad timing, bad luck, because it felt like at times when Ollie would call on a certain pitcher, that pitcher had performed well and in certain instances, and then they'd have a blow-up inning. And it was almost like you couldn't decide or pick who was going to have that blow-up inning from day to day. There was no rhyme or reason because players had played well up until that point. And so I think hopefully there's a little bit more luck here and less of those innings where guys are allowing 3 or 4 run innings and really giving up the game at that point.
Yeah.
But also, they talked a lot about the lack of flexibility last year with the bullpen. Those guys were being trotted out there. There was no ability to send guys down or bring guys up because they were out of options. So hopefully this group of guys are better suited. The pitchers, the starting pitchers, give you more time, give you more innings, so you're not as stressed and putting as much stress on them come mid-season, and now you're looking at trying to figure out how to fight your way through the season when your bullpen is tired.
Right.
I think that's going to be a crucial – it's all of those guys – playing together and working together in cohesion, as a cohesive unit. Starters hopefully giving you quality starts, because I said we didn't get a lot of those last season, which if you're getting quality starts 6 innings plus, that means that's less stress on your bullpen, and those guys aren't being thrown out there every single day.
One guy you did not mention was Matthew Liberatore. Where does he fit in with the bullpen? Maybe a potential starting spot down later in the season?
I think he's a starter, and he fits well in Memphis. That's what I think.
Not to start the season because they need 6.
Well, Zach Thompson can be the 6th.
All right.
Yeah.
There's that.
I think Matthew Liberatore will look fantastic in Redbird Red in Memphis.
They do have sweet uniforms.
They certainly do. He's had some opportunity. I'm not saying that at 25 years old this is it for him, but he's had some opportunities to flash. He had 2 good starts last year, one against a Brewers team that couldn't hit lefties, and the other against the Rays, and that was his former team, and the Rays are a really good team, so taking nothing away from him there, and nothing away from the Brewers start either, but it was kind of set up well for him, and he pitched well. Outside of that, though, his other starts were, and it ranged from to Next. Next is right.
That Brewers start was, in my opinion, the best start. It was the first start of the year. I told you I was at that game. He looked really good, and I was excited. And then it just kind of tailed off from that point. And, I mean, I guess that's expected when you're getting your first real opportunity to do it. This season should be better, and there should be some – this team should be better. I've been kind of going back and forth with a few texters all day because people are 91 losses to me is obviously way too many. It's not a season that you expect from the St. Louis Cardinals. And I think Cardinal fans have the expectation of winning championships, not being in the playoffs, not just winning the division, even though that seems to be the mindset and the motto of the front office. But the Cardinals have the expectation, Cardinal fans have the expectation to win championships. And so 91 losses isn't going to get it done. I talked to you earlier, 24 less games against the division than they had in 22. That could be problematic if your only mindset is we just need to win the division. Well, you got less games against the division, which everyone knew going into the season, maybe except for you. And so,
in fairness to the Cardinals, nobody sent them a memo about the shifts.
They were so focused on the World Baseball Classic. Guys weren't available for those preseason meetings.
You can't blame them.
I really can't. But I don't think that they knew. I don't think. They should have.
Certainly didn't play like they knew.
I don't think so.
Anthony, people from the Snake Pit are saying you look like Wilson from Home Improvement, so we had to fix your camera.
I looked at the camera at one point. It was like pointing
just
up.
Here.
I'm like, Marsh, is the camera too high?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that there's this, so going back to what you just said, Carey, I think there's a distinction, and I fall into this too. If you're frustrated because you don't think the Cardinals are a contender, I'm with you. I also believe that they're just good enough to win the NL Central. It's a distinction.
The problem is if your mindset is we just need to be the best in our division.
Yeah, you got problems.
Yeah,
you're
because you're
naive.
not playing, because you don't play as many games. Like, that model may have worked for 40 years, however, 20 years. It worked.
No longer works.
I don't know that can work when you got 24 games that, what do you go in those 24 games? 16 and 6? 14 and 8? You know, like, is that 24? No, 14 and 10? Like, what? It's a change in what you're accustomed to doing.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just think with that being changed, your focus and your philosophy probably needs to change, but I don't think it did last year, and it doesn't look like it has so far.
No.
To start this 2024 season.
That's Carey Davis. I'm Anthony Stalter. We will have our Sports Six-Pack in about 15 minutes, so if you want to text in a question right now, 314-399-9646 is the Air Comfort Service text line. Again, our Sports Six-Pack in about 15 minutes. Will the 49ers, despite being favored right now to win the Super Bowl next year, and certainly the best team heading into the offseason in the NFC, will they suffer the same fate that a lot of losers in the Super Bowl will? We'll talk about that next on 101 ESPN.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Blues take on the Oilers tonight. Pregame starting at 6. Puck drop is at 7. We'll have all the action for you right here on 101 ESPN. The Oilers are 8-2 in their last 10 games. They're playing good hockey as of late. The Blues looking to respond after losing to the Toronto Maple Leafs the other night by a final of 4-1. We talked earlier today with Chris Kerber. If you missed that interview, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free 101 mobile app. It's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. We're going to dive into the San Francisco 49ers coming up next after their loss in the Super Bowl. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff. Find new roads and shop 24/7 at Londoff.com and LondoffAutoplex.com. Are you kidding me?
Well, as Marsh just said in the Sports Center update, let's get into the 49ers. So the Super Bowl loser typically suffers a Super Bowl hangover. It's more so than the winner. Obviously, if you got Patrick Mahomes, you can win multiple championships in a row and you can keep going. But typically the Super Bowl loser suffers some sort of hangover. Now, there's varying degrees of a Super Bowl hangover. For example, when the Chiefs lost to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 31-9, they went to the AFC Championship game the following year, lost to the Bengals. Is that a hangover? No. I can't define that as a hangover. You made it to the AFC title game. You hosted the game. However, if you look back like the Eagles, they made the playoffs the following year. They made the playoffs this year.
Didn't do much.
Didn't get out of the first round.
They lost like 6 of their last 7 games. And they were struggling down the stretch.
Yep, absolutely. Other teams include the Falcons. They actually won a playoff game the following year and then lost to Tricky Nicky and the Eagles. But the Rams, the 49ers in 2020, I think actually made it pretty far into the playoffs the following year. But Carey, if we just take a step back and say, all right, what are the challenges now of losing the playoffs or losing the Super Bowl? Your only time, you won it, but you also went to an NFC Championship game with the Falcons, and that following year was a bit of a struggle. What is it about getting over that loss?
Well, I mean, again, you don't know. I said it earlier. You don't know if you'll ever get back to that point. I mean, that might be a one-and-done opportunity. And I think that just weighs on you so much because you think about what could have been, woulda, coulda, shoulda. We should have done this. We could have done this. We could have been this, done this better. And you start thinking about that. And I think that's why I think what the Buffalo Bills did in the 90s is so spectacular. To lose 4 Super Bowls, to lose 3 Super Bowls, and then make it back to be able to do that, it speaks volumes. That's one of the best teams in NFL history, regardless of winning a championship or not, because I mean, you think there's a target on you. There is a target on you when you win a Super Bowl, right? Everybody's coming for you. But when you make it there and don't win, you put some of that on yourself. I believe there's just a feeling of not completing the task, and maybe you start putting more pressure on yourself. The 49ers are going to have to rectify the defensive coordinator position because they just fired Steve Wilks. Whether or not, I mean, there were a lot of things in that game. You got to see what Dre Greenlaw, how he's probably not going to be good for maybe all season next year because he tore his Achilles in the Super Bowl. In February, doubt that maybe he's ready, maybe midseason. I mean, guys are returning. Aaron Rodgers was ready to return in 3 months, so maybe he's able to. But you got some things that you got to correct. How do you get better defensively? When things aren't going well offensively, what is the answer for that? The pass protection that I showed you, that towards down the end of the stretch, that to me was not very good. So there are things that you can correct if you're them. It's going to be tough, though, because every other team is getting better. You just got a year older. And, again, people don't think that matters, but every time you don't make it, that team is not going to be the same as it was this year. People will be in free agency. People will be traded. People will be released. You will have some guys that are looking for a contract and maybe not getting it. Mm-hmm. It's going to be a completely, and then you get draft picks. So it's going to be a completely different team. How well do you mesh? It won't be the same team that's trying to make a repeat back to the Super Bowl.
I will say this. So if I were to ask you, out of all the teams in the NFC, would you go against the 49ers based on what's out there?
In the NFC?
Because the Eagles have some big issues to fix. They're going to be good, but they got problems.
The team that I would be looking at would be, Detroit. This sounds weird to say because they're so young, but they showed me so much. The Green Bay Packers, I think, are going to be a really good team. Jordan Love showed a lot last year in his first year starting. Mm-hmm. I think they're going to be a really good team. I still don't trust the Dallas Cowboys because of what the hell was that? What did I have to watch in the playoffs? Why did I have to? What were you all doing? And your defensive coordinator is gone because he got a head coaching job, which I did not think would happen after that performance from his defense. Philadelphia Eagles should be better, but maybe Jason Kelce is back. Maybe he's not. He's probably not going to be. Teams change so much every offseason that it's difficult. I think the 49ers are probably the favorite to come out of the NFC, but I wouldn't be surprised if a Detroit Lions make a push. If a Green Bay Packers make a push. There are a few teams. I don't know. I don't trust anybody in the South, in the NFC South. And
nor should you.
Maybe you look at the Rams as pushing the 49ers as well, because that's a divisional foe. It's always tough to beat those guys twice.
I would put the 49ers up against anybody in the NFC. I agree with the Cowboys. I think the Eagles, talent-wise, are outstanding, but they got some guys that are free agents on the defensive side. They're getting a little older on that side as well. I don't believe in the Giants. I don't think that Dan Quinn's suddenly going to turn around Washington. The Lions are the other team in the NFC that you look and you circle and say, all right, this team was, 30 minutes?
Not even.
30 minutes away from the collapse started, I think, in the first drive of the second half. That was San Francisco came out in the second half and scored right away.
Yeah.
So they were 30 minutes away from advancing to the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. So you have to respect that. You mentioned Jordan Love, but it really it comes down to the quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Who do you trust in the NFC? There's only a handful of guys. Jalen Hurts. I like Jared Goff in that system. Jordan Love showed more than enough. Matthew Stafford being the veteran guy, another great year. But that's it. That's it.
It's three or four teams at most.
Right.
And again, the NFC South, we can just – I know you are a Falcons fan. They need a quarterback. Carolina Panthers.
What do you mean?
They need a quarterback. Carolina Panthers, nah. Drew Brees. David, Drew Brees wishes he was still playing for the New Orleans Saints. Derek Carr and the New Orleans Saints, no. And Shaky Bakey, great season. Baker Mayfield had a great season. Is Mike Evans coming back? Who knows? Mm-hmm. So the NFC South is going to be what they are. It's difficult to figure.
So the only thing that changes the conversation is if one of those teams that we just mentioned, the Bears will have an opportunity, Washington will have an opportunity, the Giants, if they go that direction, and the Falcons, if they land their C.J. Stroud. Mm-hmm. If those teams in the top 8 picks that I just mentioned, if they land their C.J. Stroud, things could change in a hurry. And there are a lot of quarterbacks coming into this draft that could be difference makers. Not all of them are going to pan out. You may not get C.J. Stroud. You may wind up with a bunch of Bryce Youngs. But that is the only thing that I think could change in the NFC. And that's where the NFC has to get to. Because the young AFC team, you're looking at the dichotomy between the AFC and the NFC. It's really all about the QBs.
Right.
Josh Allen, Tua, Lamar, Joe Burrow, C.J. Stroud, Trevor Lawrence, Anthony Richardson, Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert. They're all in the AFC.
Right.
You look at the NFC, there are also Rans, veteran guys, or guys like Jordan Love that, this is it'll be his 4th or 5th season. They need to hit on. There's several teams need to hit on their top picks being quarterbacks this year.
I agree. It should be good for the 49ers, though.
Yeah, it should. Yeah, it sets up well. All right, despite the hangover. Air Comfort Service Stocks line is 314-399-9646. You have a question for Carey or I, you can send it in. We'll do our Sports Six-Pack next.
the question.
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six-Pack is now.
Our Air Comfort Service tax line is 314-399-9646. Time for the Sports Six-Pack. What do you got, Marsh?
Question number 1.
All right, gentlemen. The Athletic was reporting that Rob Manfred announced that he will step down as Major League Baseball's commissioner in January of 2029. How will Rob Manfred be remembered in baseball?
As an arrogant, you know what? As an arrogant Arizona Diamondback. Everybody will remember him for calling the World Series trophy a hunk of metal. Everybody will remember how much he talked down to the media / therefore the fans, because the media is the conduit to the fan, during the pandemic, during the lockout. Everybody just dying for sports to return, and they couldn't figure it out for what. Like, that is what he's going to be remembered for. There's some other the flow of the game has gotten better. There's certain things that he has either implemented or has overseen that I think is better for the game. But if you're saying how will he be remembered, he's going to be remembered as the arrogant commissioner that nobody liked.
Marshy, write this down. 450. Anthony says John Mozeliak will be the next commissioner of baseball.
Oh my goodness!
I didn't say anything close.
Same
to
thing.
That.
Same guy. Same.
What do you mean?
I was thinking the same thing. How many people are in this business?
It sounds like what we already have here. It's just transition.
Mo didn't implement the pitch clock.
No, but yeah,
all the other stuff,
other things. Yeah.
I didn't say that. You did.
Did you hear that?
I heard you speaking about
Rob Manfred,
certain person that just kind of had the same qualities.
Hey, listen. You guys interpreted it that way. I didn't say it that way. I spoke the truth.
All right.
You guys just heard Mo in my answer.
Okay.
Sounds like a you problem.
Sorry.
I'll remember Rob Manfred for whenever, or Manford, as Janet likes to call him, whenever he presents a trophy or a hunk of metal to the team that wins the World Series, it sounds like he's drunk all the time. I don't know if that's the earpiece and the lag from the audio.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's what it is, but...
Here
you
take this.
Every commissioner in sports.
Congratulations.
You ever think about that? Every commissioner gets booed.
They don't care.
The NHL, they don't even bring out Gary Bettman anymore. They bring out that Daly guy.
They're rich AF because of these owners. They care about the owners. They do not care about you, the fan.
I don't disagree.
Fact.
Yeah. Man.
Nobody really cares about the fan. I mean, when you really think about it.
We care about the fans.
Well, we are fans, though. Yeah. Like, I'm including us in that. Okay. But
that is really,
but think about it.
True, though.
The commissioners work for the owners, so the owners essentially they run everything. The union rep, the head union rep, works for the players. What non-player in sports really cares about the fan? Like, actually cares about the fan?
Maybe the
I'll give you 24 to 48
people.
hours.
Sure. Oh, we like bobbleheads and fireworks.
Yes, we do.
Oh.
We'll get you these jerseys, which are basically the same ones that the players are wearing now.
There's like a local grocery store on the sleeves.
Yeah.
With a slingshot.
Yes.
And people will be clamoring for
free T-shirts?
Free T-shirt.
Absolutely.
They shoot these out of a slingshot. They'll go crazy.
Yep.
Watch them.
Oh, yeah. Love their free T-shirts.
That's really sad, though. You'd think that people would care more about their consumers.
No. The fact that we have blackout restrictions.
Regardless
the
of
fact
what's
that you
going
can't
on.
find Cardinals games in St. Louis because of blackout restrictions tells you everything you know. It's a nice big middle finger to you as a fan. I'm sorry. Getting a little more bitter in my old age.
I mean, last year, though, I'm going to go watch the Cardinals game. Oh, it's blacked out? Well, let me just check the score. Oh, it's 6-0 in the first inning? I'm good.
Either way, 6-0. You're still probably going to lose.
No. You were up 6-0. You were winning.
When did that ever happen?
I don't know, man. Time or two.
You see that bullpen?
I did. Watched them a lot.
Question 2, please.
Question number 2.
From the 618, why doesn't the start of the UFL season happen after the NFL draft?
After the NFL draft.
It's a good question. Because then you would have players that didn't get drafted have an opportunity to...
well, they would still have.
Yeah, but if they are... Well, not really. Yes and no. The draft is in April.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
See, you'll be 3, 4, 5 weeks into the season.
That's right.
By that point.
Yeah. Next year.
Maybe not.
It's not ideal.
Career could be over by then.
It's a good question. I don't know why.
I'll tell you why. Because they're not working together.
No, that's true. That's there
why.
You go. Yep.
They ain't working together.
There is your...
They are a separate entity from the NFL. UFL, NFL. They do not coincide.
Carey speaks for all of us. Yeah, good question. Or good answer.
Question number 3.
This one comes from Gator Bait from the Snake Pit. What's your favorite place to order a pizza from, and what are your toppings / crust of choice?
So there's two places that I really like in St. Louis. One is Monte Bello Pizza, which is like a...
Monte Ball Pizza?
Monte Ball owns a pizzeria?
Monte Bello Pizza is awesome. It's you would drive if you didn't know it was there, you drive right past it. But it's a great spot. They make it, they make it fresh for you, so it's a little bit longer of a wait, but it's worth it. It's like this little basement of a house. It's awesome pizza, and I really like the double-decker pizza from what's the place called? JJ Twigs. You guys ever have JJ Twigs?
Never had that.
It's awesome.
I think I have it.
The double-decker pizza.
There's like peanuts shells all over the floor.
Nope.
Right?
That's like a steakhouse or something.
Yep. Sounds like Longhorn.
Yeah, it's like Longhorn. It's a steakhouse. There's
a place. I think the text line could help me out. It's like JJ something down in Lake of the Ozarks.
Okay.
Where there's like peanut shells all over the floor because you can eat the peanuts while you're waiting.
Toss them on the ground. Yep.
It's called JJ something.
I'm gonna go Angelo's Pizzeria, which is in North County, and it is fabulous. If you've never had it, you should try it. You're not looking for a, chain restaurant.
Yeah.
Do it now.
Nice.
Good.
As far as like toppings and stuff, I could do a lot. I actually really like Canadian bacon. I also like green olive on pizza.
And pineapples. You told us yesterday. You just don't like mushrooms.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, get the fungi off of my pizza.
Get the fun guy off of my pizza.
I like Emo's Pizza. I'll stick with Emo's.
Okay.
Emo's?
What the hell, Anthony?
I just said okay. What do you?
He said it's fine.
Okay, this guy has a terrible taste of pizza. Listen,
he said it's fine.
I didn't say it was fine.
You don't like Provel?
I don't like Provel cheese. No. I don't.
What are you from, Chicago or Detroit?
Is
or
Chicago
San Francisco?
deep dish pizza?
Listen, I'm sorry for having an opinion on your cheese. Okay. Kids like it.
I don't like the Chicago. I mean, the Chicago pizza feels.
It's good.
You mean the lasagna?
Yeah, that.
It's lasagna.
I like that style, but honestly, my favorite would be like the New York style. Big, floppy. You gotta fold it. I love that stuff. Like get it on a corner, New York style pizza.
At 3:00 in the morning.
Anytime.
Preferably.
Anytime.
When you're walking out of an establishment.
I had to work out in New York City. I was only there for like a couple of days, but I was staying right downtown. Mm-hmm. And that was the first thing I did. Checked into the hotel. I walked downstairs. I looked around, saw one corner pizzas, and I went right to it. Like, gonna be my spot.
One slice?
One slice.
Or two?
I probably got two.
Yeah.
Knowing me.
We got a text from the 314. St. Louis Pizza and Wings is great. I completely agree.
I like that too.
Always get them on Sunday nights before watching Sunday Night Football with my roommates. Great food.
Yep, they're good. They're right down the street from us.
Did you text that in?
I did not text that in.
Just checking.
Yeah.
No.
All right, there you go.
And JJ Hooks, that's the name of the place
JJ
down
Hooks.
in the Lake of the Ozarks that I was referring
This
to.
is different. This is
completely
JJ
different.
Twigs. Yep.
Twig,
All right.
Hook, whatever.
It's Fastlane on 101 at ESPN. Why don't we carry this over? Because we only got to 3 questions. So we'll continue our Sports Six-Pack next.
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions. I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six-Pack is now.
It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN 503. Your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. Before we get to question number 4 here, Marsh, I know you wanted to address something from the previous segment.
So I previously mentioned about the peanuts. You can eat peanuts. They're on the floor, like the shells and whatnot. I thought it was JJ Twigs. You made me feel like that wasn't the case.
That's not the place that I'm referring to.
So then we're talking about JB Hooks. That's not the place either. It actually is JJ Twigs Pizza and Barbecue in the Ozarks.
Okay.
We get a text from the 314. Lake of the Ozarks, JJ Twigs has peanuts on the ground. O'Fallon and DePere do not. The other one is JB Hooks at the lake. JB Hooks is like a steak restaurant. I would assume that they don't have peanuts on the ground.
So we were both right.
We were both right. And then I was wrong, but then we're right.
There you go.
Good job.
Yeah, we've clarified this.
No, I missed it.
It's okay. It's all good.
All right, we ready for question 4?
Question 4, please.
Question number 4.
This one comes from Jamie's Vacation Speedo. Since Anthony is the hockey guy, how high is he on the Blues making at least the first round of the playoffs?
I have said, Marsh, what did I say in the offseason?
They're a playoff team?
They're a playoff team. I have stated this from day one. I thought they had enough to at least qualify for a wild card. And some people laughed at me and mocked me and ridiculed me. And some of it was because of my hockey takes. The other times was just for,
in general,
just me being me, But yeah, no, I think they're a playoff team. When they fired Craig Berube, I was pretty hot under the collar. May have said some things that I would regret if I had a soul, but I was really ticked off. But now, the way they're playing, I think they're going to be just consistent enough to make the second wild card.
I think this is a critical stretch for this team. Like I said, this 10 games before the trade deadline.
Yeah.
I think we've said it time and time again, need a little bit more time to see where they are. Is this the stretch or is it this stretch? I think that this is the one because it's right before the trade deadline. And you will know if you go 5-5 or 4-6 or 7-3.
Yeah.
You are trending in the right direction. If not, maybe it's time to kiss those playoff fantasies and hopes goodbye.
The funny thing is, I feel like we've said this a lot.
That's what I said. We've said
this is the stretch.
Multiple times.
We'll
this
find
season.
out.
This 10-game stretch. Well, then don't you know?
I think that, look,
you probably know at this point that
they are a wild card team. This is how wild card teams perform.
Up and down.
This is not a contender. Yeah. If they were a contender, we could bitch about how up and down they are.
Yeah.
But they're not a contender. They're a wild card team.
Inconsistent.
Think about a team that you don't root for that's also a wild card team. Would you be surprised if they were inconsistent? No. You're like, they're a 500 team. They're a wild card team. They're a fringe wild card team.
Like Juice and the Nashville Predators.
Don't even talk to me about Juice.
Juicados.
UC. You see all those goals go behind you after a 3-0 lead you had there.
How mad were you?
I was ticked.
Especially
when people are like, you should know his name. I don't have to know your name if you blow a 3-0 lead.
In fact, you shouldn't know their name.
Yeah. UC. Sorry.
That you feel that way.
You see all these goals going behind you in the back of the net, blowing your 3-0 lead?
Oh, Juice. Juice is loose.
Yeah. He was juiced up that night.
Speaking of the juice, and did you see Lance Lynn showed up to spring training, I think, with a pink Ford Bronco.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Nice.
Yep, I guess. Not my style, but
you wouldn't go with that?
I wouldn't go with that if I had money.
Different color, different car?
Yeah, different car, different color. Yes, I would just say yes to that, but you know what? He's not me, I'm not him. He could do whatever the hell he wants. He's Lance Lynn.
Yeah, he is.
Question number 5.
This one comes from Lewis. Who wins in an Oklahoma drill? Dan Campbell or Mike Vrabel? Keep doing good work, boys.
Wow.
I like it.
That's a good question.
I actually like that one.
So for those that don't know what the Oklahoma drill is, it's the one that you see where two guys lay on their back, the players lay on their back, and their helmet's a helmet, and you have to pop up real quick and basically annihilate the other guy.
You know, the important thing about that is how quickly you get off the ground.
Yeah.
Because if you are slow and the other guy is up, this is a drill for those, you can be head to head, or feet to feet. Either or we have adapted it as we've gotten older to where we're no longer on the ground. Everybody's standing up, and you shorten the distance. But the older version from when I started playing, this is the drill that makes you decide if you want to play football or
100%.
You know what, Coach? I'm going to take this off, buckle this.
I'm not built for this.
I'm going to go try out basketball. I'll see you soon. That's the drill that you decide if this is for you or not.
No.
With that being said, I don't know, man. I'm going to go Ty.
I'll go Vrabel just because he's a defensive guy. He might have more
2-to-1 advantage.
Campbell's a big dude, but at least Vrabel.
I need to know the quickness level. Like you gotta be able to explode off the whistle.
I think I would think Campbell would be quicker just because he played tight end.
But maybe
he's
not.
He's more
of a blocking guy. So
I'm gonna go with Vrabel.
Yeah, we'll do that.
By the way, we got a text from the Air Comfort Service text line asking if you are going to name Lance Lynn's car.
We'll see how well he pitches, and then we'll decide to name it or not. But yeah, I've got some thoughts. Okay. Got some ideas.
Question number 6.
This was from the Snake Pit from Tanisha. One has got to go. Rap music, country music, or rock music?
Oh, rock music. Yeah, rock music. I can get down with some Garth Brooks. I got friends in low places. We used to have Country Thursday. I got friends in low places. Yeah, we had Country Thursday. Every
what about
Thursday.
Rock Thursday?
Never had it. Never had it.
I'll say country can go.
Really?
Yeah.
Come on.
Man, that's a tough one. I'm with Carey on this one, though.
You don't like rock music?
Who said I didn't like rock
go.
music, though?
Well, you're saying it basically with this choice.
I like country music. I like rap music.
I don't know.
I'm not sure if I like them more than, or I'm not sure if I like rock music more than.
Who? Give me a rock group. You had me listen to White Zombie,
the other day. More human than human.
Yeah, no.
It didn't hit you?
No, not really.
You don't want to run through a wall? No. I mean, there's a rock.
Hold on. Is Renegade considered rock?
Yeah.
The song Renegade? What is that?
I would say so. That's probably rock.
I might have to.
I like Guns N' Roses.
Yeah, that is.
Metallica.
Okay.
Alice in Chains, Soundgarden, Stone Temple Pilots.
So, if we're talking
Pearl Jam,
about
Nirvana.
like old time like rock, like not from today's age.
Led Zeppelin.
Like I'm getting rid of rock music if it's people like today playing rock music. If it's like the older school, I'd probably take rock over country music because I like country music more than I like rock in this era of music.
I don't like old country music. Like I probably. Yeah, no.
But with like rap music,
like the twang.
Rap music back in the day, great. Rap music now is good, right? Now you kind of have your mumble rap now.
The music of today, boy, we're old. The music today is not good.
Marsha's young though, and he's still.
You like mumble rap, Anthony?
No. No. My rap would be what Carey and I grew up on, which would be Snoop. It would be Dre.
I'm all in.
Wu-Tang.
Yeah.
Biggie.
Sign me up.
Eminem.
Yeah,
Eminem was in the 90s.
Sign me up with that.
Yeah.
Well, you grew up next to him.
I grew up next to him. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It was actually it was 9 Mile.
It was actually, yeah.
Anthony, I heard you were an extra in the movie.
I was, yeah. My scene got cut. Yeah. See, what happened was I also rapped.
Oh
man!
And I destroyed them, and they couldn't. It didn't fit in the storyline. He didn't need two rivals, so they went with the other guy.
That was enough.
Politics.
Yeah,
this guy's pretty good. We got to cut him out of the movie.
Yeah. It was so good they didn't even want it in like the deleted scenes in the DVD version. You know, they used to have deleted scenes. Yeah, you can't find it anywhere. Yep.
Man. Not even
I don't even get royalty checks for it.
Oh, that's been really good.
They acted like it didn't happen, but trust me, it happened. Okay. Yeah. Oh yeah, I destroyed them. Absolutely destroyed them.
What was the punchline?
Well, it was basically how his ex-wife wrote all the songs for him. Yeah, kind of like Taylor Swift's ex-boyfriends wrote all her songs.
It's more like inspiration.
Something like that. Yeah, he called it inspiration. I'd said it,
He had a ghostwriter.
Basically, yeah.
Well, maybe you can be a ghostwriter now.
I also wrote Stan, but again, I let it go.
I mean, you moved on.
I moved on.
Okay.
You can't hold on to resentment.
No, you can't. You can't hold a grudge.
It eats you up. You got to get it out, So I told him what I thought of him. His bodyguard started to approach me, and I just said, enough. I'm good.
Got mine out.
Yep.
He said, cut.
All right, The Athletic was not kind to the Cardinals in their latest power rankings. We'll tell you why next on 101 ESPN. Jim Bowden of The Athletic put together his power rankings for spring training, and he was none too kind to your St. Louis Cardinals. Carey, he has the Cardinals 20th in Major League Baseball.
How many teams in Major League Baseball?
32.
Oh, man. That's low.
No. 30, I mean.
I was going to say, I thought it was
32 is NFL. 30 in Major League Baseball.
Bottom third, huh?
Yeah, not great.
Okay.
So as Jim Bowden writes, he says, the Cardinals prioritized adding 3 starting pitchers and a reliever in free agency, and although they landed all 4, is it enough to get them back to the playoffs? So the best move they made was signing Sonny Gray, 34, on a 3-year, $75 million deal to lead the rotation. They also signed 2 36-year-old starters, Kyle Gibson and Lance Lynn, and both look like they're in decline. Gray, Gibson, and Lynn join Miles Michaelis, 35, and Steven Matz, 32, to form the oldest rotation in the sport, and it's fair to question how it will perform overall this season. In the bullpen, Keenan Middleton signed for $6 million as the team made a slew of smaller transactions for relievers. The Cardinals position player group is led by Paul Goldschmidt, 36, Nolan Arenado, who will turn 33 in April. Nolan Arenado.
Thank you.
Who turns 33 in April. I believe both still have all-star games ahead of them. Outfielder Jordan Walker and second baseman Nolan Gorman looked set for breakout seasons, but I don't see this rotation carrying the Cardinals to the postseason. So another guy that doesn't like the fact that the Cardinals starting rotation, the average age is about 42.
It's a little younger than that. Not much.
Not by much.
I've said this time and time again. I think, and it's important to, I don't know if we have to keep beating this horse, but the fact that those pitchers were in the tops in hits allowed and they are a year older matters. Because you normally don't get better the older you get when you get to a certain age. When you turn from 29 to 30, you're still, okay, 27 to 28, yeah. But once you hit the other side of 35, things tend to start breaking down on your body. Hell, they break down when you just wake up and sit at a desk all day. Or when you wake up and you do other activities, let alone being a professional athlete, your body breaks down faster the older you get. So for me, that is a cause for concern because that was your main issue last year. Did you get better than the guys? Are any of these guys better than Jordan Montgomery?
No.
Okay, then I don't think.
Well, Sonny Gray is.
He's better. You think he's better than Jordan Montgomery?
They're at least in the same. They're in the same level.
Okay, so Jack Flaherty, Adam Wainwright, you probably did because Adam Wainwright was 42 last year, right?
Waino unfortunately was done. He was done the previous year. At the end.
He was done when that took place.
I think he was done the previous season when he finished his last 8 or so starts. He just wasn't good.
Maybe.
I understand why he came back. I'm glad he did. I'm glad he had his moment and all that. But he wasn't good the previous last month of the year, month and a half.
I just think that this is going to be something to keep an eye on. If they struggle out of the gate, they got some tough matchups to start the season. If they struggle out of the gate, they could potentially be in the same place that they were last year. These guys they have to play well. They got a ball. And if they don't, you could be looking at a repeat from last year. Because yes, you got 3 new starters, but technically, did you get that much better than you were last year? And you asked me this going into last season, I had more confidence. You thought I was crazy for saying that. I had more confidence going into 2023 with the starting rotation than I do for 2024.
Not more confidence, but more questions. I thought there's more questions about the starting rotation last season than there are questions this year.
Yeah, I felt the other way.
That now I do think you're crazy. Yeah,
you did then too, but it's not the first time. So, and it won't be.
I just want to clarify the confidence. I didn't have a lot of confidence about him last year. I don't have a lot of confidence this year.
It's essentially the same thing.
I just think
more confidence, less questions last year.
Yeah,
less confidence, more questions this year.
I actually think there's a difference. So last year, for example, the questions range from can Jack Flaherty can he stay healthy and be effective, right? Those are 2 questions right there. Can he stay healthy and can he be effective? Those are 2. Steven Matz, can he stay healthy? Can he be effective? Adam Wainwright, again, previous 8 starts, the previous year, terrible.
Mm-hmm.
There was legit questions about whether or not Adam Wainwright was going to be any good last year. Miles Michaelis, you had fewer questions about, obviously, as the season wore on.
You got more questions this year about Miles Michaelis than you did last year.
But Sonny Gray, I know what he is. Lance Lynn, I know what he is. Kyle Gibson, I know what he is. That's different from saying I'm confident in him. I just know exactly what those players are.
See, I felt like Jack Flaherty, I thought he was going to be okay. I thought Jordan Montgomery was going to be okay.
I said this before, that's a you problem.
It is. It's a me, and I'll stand here by myself with this problem.
Yeah.
And I thought Miles Michaelis would be better than he was last year.
Mm-hmm.
And so those 3 guys in comparison, if you're comparing those 3 guys to the 3 guys that they have now, and we're not – so we'll Miles Michaelis, Jordan Montgomery, Jack Flaherty, in comparison to Sonny Gray, Kyle Gibson, Lance Lynn.
Mm-hmm.
I felt more confident about those 3 than I do about these 3. Even though Miles Michaelis is still on the roster as a starting rotation this year, I'm not putting him in that category for 24. I felt more confident and had less questions about those 3 guys than I do about these 3 guys. And that didn't work out well for us.
No, it didn't.
So, I might be, alone here in that thought process.
No,
I may be thinking that those 3 being less questions and more confident than these, I might be by myself in that thought process, and I'm okay with that. But I just know when you get older in professional sports, your body does not get better.
Sure.
It gets worse. And so the older you get, the more breakdown you have, and the harder it is to – the problem is not it's getting up and doing it every day. The problem is not the day, it's what do you feel after, the next day. It takes longer for your body to recover when you're older and more years in the game. So that would be my only concern.
I want to make this clear. I'm not confident about the starting rotation. I just have fewer questions than I did a year ago. But regardless, the Cardinals did nothing to really foster confidence in them this year. The other thing is, this is the other thing that drives me absolutely up the wall with the Cardinals. It's almost like the best case scenario always has to happen.
For the Cardinals?
Yes. We play the what-if game a lot on the radio. Cardinals fans play the what-if game a lot, or they're tired of us playing the what-if game. But they hardly eliminate questions in the offseason. You know what I mean? Like, you go into the offseason, you have all these questions, and then they come out of the offseason, they make some moves, and it's like, I still have a lot of questions here.
He didn't answer the questions that
exactly.
I had.
The best case scenario has got to play out for the Cardinals to make the playoffs or to win the NL Central. Jordan Walker's got to take that next step. Mason Wynn's got to be good. Tommy Edmonds got to be healthy. Brendan Donovan's got to be healthy. Paul Goldschmidt, Nolan Arenado, they have to have bounce-back years. Nolan Arenado specifically. The rotation has to be better than it was a year ago. The bullpen has there's always this what if with the Cardinals. They do just enough to say, I think they're improved.
See, I didn't have those questions going from 22 to 23. I watched a 90-win team make the playoffs, not finish well.
So you're just basing it off of the previous year, then?
I'm basing it off of what my 2 eyes saw last year, man.
No, but it's different this year.
How? How?
Chad, you act like Jack Flaherty was going to be an absolute stud last year.
I had more.
There were 4 seasons of him not being good or healthy.
And we watched 4 seasons of Tyler O'Neill do the same thing, and you had confidence in him, didn't you?
No, I did not.
Yeah, you got confidence in Dylan Carlson, don't you?
No.
Sheesh. Somebody does, Anthony.
Yeah, it's called the John Mozeliak of the front office.
Well, we'll see.
You're crazy, man. You're crazy.
I like you.
But you're crazy.
So Jimbo not crazy to have him 20th. By the way, he's got the Reds 12. I think he's a little crazy there. The Cubs 14 and the Brewers 18.
Fourth best in the division.
3 teams ahead of the Cardinals.
The Pirates, the only ones not trying. In his opinion.
Most teams aren't trying, or they're trying-ish. But yeah, the Pirates, they rank, let's see where the old Buccos are at, 24th. So they're only 4 spots behind
us.
They're 4 spots behind the Cardinals.
Hey, man.
One man's opinion, but that sucks. Biggest question of the day is next on 101 ESPN.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. In about 30 or less than 30 minutes, we'll have Blues pregame for you as the Blues take on the Edmonton Oilers. Pregame starting at 6. Puck drop is at 7. And, of course, you can catch all the action right here on 101 ESPN. We talked with Voice of the Blues right here on the Blues Radio Network, Chris Kerber, earlier today. If you missed that interview, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free 101 mobile app. You can find all of our interviews and full shows there. And it's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. We have our biggest question of the day coming up next, so stay tuned for that. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
It's time for the Fast Lane's biggest question of the day.
All right, time for the biggest question of the day here in the Fast Lane on 101 at ESPN. What do you got, Marsh?
All right, so earlier today we were talking about, players buying in compared to skilled players and whether or not the Cardinals want those types of dudes and whatnot. Well, there's some more audio from Mo that I wanted to dive into about the Cardinals just going after guys that want to be here. I feel like that was sort of a thing that came up multiple times throughout the show. So let's listen to what Mo had to say, and we'll discuss.
When you look at over the course of those years, like some of the decisions that we've made that have been positive versus negative, there is definitely a common denominator of people that truly want to be here. And as you guys can all imagine, in the free agent world, proxy tends to be dollars, right, or years and dollars. Whereas, there are times where people just truly want to be a part of this organization, a part of the St. Louis community, and it usually ends much better that way. And so when we entered this offseason, we didn't go in strictly trying to chase that or look for that, but it was something that was definitely underlying, and when it showed up early, that's how we were able to get these deals done in the timely fashion that we did. I mean, as you're standing here today, the free agent market is still going, right? And we were able to find players that wanted to be here, and we're able to get them to agree to deals really right around Thanksgiving.
And get them to agree right around Thanksgiving. Find players to deal with and get them to agree right around Thanksgiving. Because that's what we were looking for, guys that wanted to be here.
Yeah.
And you want
you want guys to be there.
You want guys that want to be here.
Yes.
I don't think that, and I don't know that this is the truth or this is the case. You should try to get everybody that you need. And your job is to show them why they should be here. Mm-hmm. And it shouldn't, and I don't want to put words in anyone's mouth. I don't know if this is how it sounds or how it comes off. And I think we talk about Mo a lot and how it's very vague in the tone and the speak. So you're kind of left to decipher things on your own.
Yeah.
I don't think you should. I think your goal every season should be how can I make this team better? Well, this guy may not want to be here. Why doesn't he want to be here? Let's talk to him and figure out. And then let's show him what all we can provide as an organization that maybe he didn't know. Mm-hmm. Now, after that, if he says, no, I don't want to be here, then why in the hell would you sign that person anyways?
Yeah.
That's how that comes up. Well, these guys didn't want to be here. When did they figure that out?
Yeah.
Did they find out? Did you know that before you signed them? Well, then shame on you for signing them. Because you already were told, I don't want to be here, but I'll go there for the money. Mm-hmm. And so if that's the mindset, then shame on you for signing that person. But if what you're telling me is, yeah, we're only going after guys that want to be here, that would, I guess, indicate guys that tell me that they want to be here. How? You got to ask. You got to talk. You got to have conversations.
Yep.
And you have to push to get guys that maybe you heard they don't want. I didn't hear that from him. Let me talk to him personally. And then he says, oh, yeah, I do want to. I didn't know that about your organization. I didn't know you all did that. I didn't know that about the city of St. Louis.
Can you tell me more about that?
Can you give me more?
Yes.
But again, when you are not given full, context or dialogue, or you're just kind of left out wandering aimlessly. I honestly think that's what Mo wants us to do. It's never a direct conversation. It's, I'll give you a little bit, and you fill in the blanks. And then when you fill it in, no, that's not what I meant. Well, how the hell do I know? You didn't say. And so I think that's where you are. But again, if you are signing people, your job is to sign the best people for this team. And if you decided to sign someone that told you out of their mouth, I don't want to be there, but if you pay me right, I will, then that's your fault. Nobody else's.
All this just is fluff to me. Like everything he said about it's just fluff. Of course, like you said, Carey, of course they want to be here. You knew that. You knew there's some, whether the agent told you or the player told you, or they said it like they did, what Sonny Gray did when he said, yeah, I wanted to be a Cardinal about, I don't know, halfway through of last year when he came and pitched here. Okay, great. You knew that already. This is all just fluff. This is something that you say in spring training to appease a fan base that's excited, or at least to throw a fan base some chum when they're already circling. This is nothing. This is a nothing burger. Guys wanted to be here, so we wanted guys that wanted to be here. Who told you they didn't want to be here? Was it Jordan Montgomery? Was it Blake Snell? Was it who was it? Who told you that they didn't want to be? And why? Did you show interest or did you feign interest? Did you actually pursue them?
Did you sign them?
No, clearly. Of course. What are you going to say? I don't fault him for answering the question, but to make a bit, he said it, Marsh, a couple of times, right? That basically they signed guys that wanted to be here. That's fantastic. That's awesome. I'm sure there's a lot of guys that wanted to pitch here for various reasons. Maybe Luis Severino wanted to pitch here too because he saw an opportunity on a rebound contract to pitch in a park that's pretty fair. You didn't go after him. I think the Cardinals do just enough. They do just enough to put you on the hook and get you a little excited. And then they play well in a crap division and they make the playoffs and we all wear our red October and we're all red, and they get bounced in the first round because the other team's actually prepared as a contender, not as an NL Central champ.
So we get a text from 636.
Year after year after year, it's the same question.
The 636 says a few years back, Max Scherzer wanted to be here, and we wouldn't even talk to him.
Right.
Why?
Because you know why? Do you know why? Here's the truth on this. Because they felt like the rotation was set. This is my problem with them. Where are we going to put him? I don't know.
Where are you going to put him?
Bounce the fifth guy to the rotation. Tell the fifth guy, hey, guess what? Are you feeling? Are you hurt at all? No, I'm good.
Yeah, you are.
Now you're hurt. Sorry.
Yeah. Not sorry.
You're going on the IL. I don't care. Max Scherzer says he wants to pitch for. Well, we already got 5 guys. Where are we going to put them? This is the line of thinking.
That's what I'm saying about making your team better. Your job is to make your team better.
At all
year
times.
After
off
year,
season.
off season,
Trade
in
deadline,
season, whenever.
International market.
That's the job.
Yes.
That's the job. Not to say, we're good. No, if I can get that guy for that price, I'll figure it out, man.
Right.
I don't care who it. I will figure it out. You're saying you want how much? Let me check just math real quick. Oh, we can afford that.
Ownership group.
Yeah,
we good?
Let's go.
Okay, because if we're not, I'm not blaming Mo on that. I'll blame the DeWitts. But if the DeWitts sign off, this is going to make us better. Where are you going to put him? You got 5 guys already. I don't care.
Is it Joe Lacob for the Warriors when KD said he wanted to sign? You know what? We already won a championship. We don't need you. Hey, can we afford you?
Right.
Well, Clay might have to. Clay, I love you.
Yeah.
Kevin Durant's coming. You're gonna have to. You're a little bit different, buddy.
You want to win another title?
Yeah. Well, this is what we're gonna do.
You a winner or not?
You want to win?
I'll send you to Portland if you don't want to win. I don't need. You knew this team was done when they signed Sonny Gray from a rotation standpoint. You knew it. They weren't going to add more.
You have to be fiscally responsible, Anthony.
I got your fiscal responsible. All right. It's Fastlane on 101 at ESPN. Bet the board. 3 stars of the day. Criticisms, compliments next on 101 ESPN. Well, if you're getting your tax returns, maybe you invested in a brand new vehicle from Auto Center's Nissan Herculaneum, and you don't have to invest all of your tax return because they've got great deals. They've got great financing, too. They've got financing options for everyone. It doesn't matter if you got good credit or bad credit. Auto Center's Nissan Herculaneum knows that if you need a vehicle and you need a way to finance the car, truck, van, SUV, whatever you choose, and they want to make sure that you feel comfortable about the monthly payments. Auto Center's Nissan, they've got the best financing department that you're going to find. They also have the best lot that you're going to find, as in they have over 700 vehicles, new Nissans, other pre-owned vehicles, different makes and models, over 700 vehicles at one location. If you don't believe me, drive out to Herculaneum and check them out, or go to AutoCentersNissan.com. You could pick out your ride. You could pick out a couple of different rides that you like that you want to test drive. They'll have the vehicles there for you. It's not like, no, that one's in our Wichita location. No, there's no Wichita location. Auto Center's Nissan Herculaneum, one spot, one location, same great deals. They've got great deals throughout the month of February. They got the financing. They give you a 30-day return promise, and they got free nationwide lifetime warranty. They won't be beat. It's Auto Center's Nissan Herculaneum. Tell them Stalter sent you. It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. If you missed any of our show today, you can head to the podcast available at 101ESPN.com or on your 101 ESPN mobile app. Mobile app is 100% free to you. Podcast is brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. We continue bet the board, and I believe we got a tie at the top, right, Marsh?
Yes. You are now tied with Carey. 4 and 5.
That's
4
not
and
great.
5. I started the month 0 and 3. So making a little comeback here.
All right.
So CD is 4 and 5. I am 4 and 5. Jamie is 3 and 6. He took the Penguins last night. Begrudgingly took the Penguins last night. And Marsh, you're what, 2 and 7?
Yeah.
You lost last night, Marsh?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Comeback is on, though. So, Carey, go ahead. You got
Hey, you know where I'm
honors,
going.
sir.
I'm going Golden State. Again, they're minus, you know what? I'm going to go money line. Minus 134.
Okay, there you go. There you have it. Hockey did me well last night, so I'm going to go back to the frozen pucks here. Give me the Lightning, minus 126 over the Avalanche. Tampa Bay, tough beat at home, 17-5-3 on the season for them at home. They've won 7 out of their last 10 games overall. Give me the Lightning, minus 126. I'm going to ride the Lightning.
All right.
Which is a song by Metallica. You wouldn't know because you don't like rock.
Oh, come on.
Don't know. I don't, actually. No,
Unbelievable.
Maybe if I heard it.
Ride the Lightning?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't want to go to San Jose, your favorite team?
Actually, it's an album, excuse me. Isn't it an album and a song? Might be both. That's the album. Anyways, Marsh, go ahead.
Well, I believe Jamie.
Oh, that's
what is
right.
Jamie?
Yeah, what did Jamie pick?
I think he's just going with the Blues to beat the Edmonton Oilers.
That's right. He was high on them. He liked the matchup. He thought things are...
He did go.
He did. He likes the Blues to rebound.
Yep, I heard him.
I mean, the Blues have won 7 out of the last 10 games. Doesn't matter that the Edmonton's won 8 of 10.
Come on.
He laid it out there how you slow down Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. Yeah. That's a good pick by Jamie. Real good pick. So Blues plus 180.
I am going with Connor McDavid over 3.5 shots on goal.
What are you doing here, Marsh?
It's at minus 145.
Ooh, right under the minus 150 thresholds.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Connor McDavid over 3.5 shots on goal.
All right, so Carey, you have the Warriors to win outright.
Yeah.
I have the Lightning to win outright. Jamie has the Blues to win outright, and Marsh has Connor McDavid. What did you say? 3.5?
3.5 over 3.5 shots on goal.
There you have it. So let's bet the board. Marsh, what do we got for our 3 stars of the day? Or criticisms and compliments, I guess. Is what
we have a new Snake Pit participant, a longtime listener, but new to the Snake Pit, and then wanted to shout out Abfusco, which I asked.
Okay.
And the name is a nod to the Odd Squad, Agent Abfusco, a PBS Kids TV show, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, okay. All right.
So,
yeah, shout
out to Abfusco,
Yeah.
your
There you
Snake
go.
Pit member.
Yeah. Welcome to the Snake Pit.
We have a text from the 314. Hey, guys, great show today, even though you sound old when it comes to music. Do you guys make sure people put up their shopping carts also?
I do. Listen, do not leave that damn shopping cart in anywhere other than where it's supposed to go. It's how cars get damaged. And it's just you know how lazy you have to be to just leave your shopping cart sitting there in a spot.
Yeah, that's bad.
Like, have some decency, some common courtesy.
For your fellow man and woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, don't be a jerk.
I'm with you on
Put the
that.
cart up.
I'm also a big fan of the wave, the hand. Big fan of that. You know, hey, how you doing?
Hey, good
Or hey, listen, I make mistakes too on the road. Cut you off, something like, hey, I roll down the window. I'll give you the full. Hey, that's on me. You know, we all make
you
mistakes.
let someone in and they don't.
They don't. I want to, and I'll just be honest. First and foremost, I've got anger issues. When somebody doesn't give me the hand, it's basically the equivalent of making fun of my mother. I will stab you.
Oh no.
Yeah. I don't appreciate it.
Dangerous.
I mean, it takes you 2 seconds. Give the old hand.
This is respect.
It's a respect thing. I let you win. Hey, thank you. In fact, when somebody gives me the hand after I let them in, I give them the one back. Hey, no problem. I got you.
Hands.
You don't though?
Yeah, it's a problem.
It's a big problem. You're a lunatic if you don't. Oh, you are. You don't care about people. You only care about yourself, and I don't like you.
We got a text from 314. Why is Andrew defending the Cardinals so much? Yeah, Andrew Stalter, what are you doing?
I believe your name is Andrew.
When the hell did I defend that baseball team?
Yeah, you've been doing it a lot lately.
I mean, when I put this mask on, these glasses.
Yeah, you've been doing it today. All I know is you've been doing it a lot lately. It's fine because it's your opinion, Marsh, but I think a lot of people are kind of ticked off that you just decided to blindly.
How many wins this year, Marsh?
Well,
love a
Anthony,
team that's not trying.
Well, Carey, I'm looking at a 90-win team this season.
12.
I think the Cardinals are going to be a good baseball team this year.
Again, with the 1940s guy.
How many wins for Lentz, Gibson?
At least 13 each. 13 wins over the 12 threshold.
13, I say.
13. Taylor Swift's favorite number.
Look at these guys. They're throwing around the ball.
I can't do it anymore. You see these? You see these circles? They're O's, Anthony. That stands for October. Also, the number of wins they'll have in October. Sorry, the glasses were off.
Both are probably true.
Oh, no.
All right, let's get
guys that want to be here this year.
I see what you did there. I see what you did.
We got guys that want to be here. What are you talking about?
Man, the Braves, the Dodgers, those guys, they might have a good team, but I don't think any of them want to be there.
Not as much as the guys want to be here.
That's
Exactly.
a great point. Yeah.
All right, let's get to our 3 stars of the day. There were a lot of different things and people and sayings and whatnot that could have made their way into the top 3 on this Thursday afternoon here in St. Louis, Missouri. But let's go with our 3rd star of the day. And that goes to the TV show Next.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Next.
I learned about that today. I hadn't seen
Get
that
out of
before.
here.
Yeah.
I'm done with you.
Our 2nd star of the day goes to playing with yourself.
Yeah.
In video games.
Absolutely.
You got to do that.
Yep, playing with yourself in a video game.
Indeed.
Carey, we both learned today that Carey and Jamie played with themselves back in the day.
In video games.
Yep.
And our 1st star of the day goes to the United States educational system.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Oh, yeah.
World War II ended in 1945, not 1936.
Or 25.
Or 25.
As our guest Armin said.
Hey.
Yeah. People are always so amazed.
When the last time you used that information?
I mean, here's how it is. A lot of people, when they hear like the random, like the one time I did a random trivia and somebody goes, "This is all like 2nd grade stuff." I'm on sports radio. I didn't pay attention in 2nd grade.
Clearly.
You guys have real jobs. We just sit here and talk.
Driving home right now, you did something important today. Me, I goofed around. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. For Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, and Anthony Stalter, we got the Blues pregame coming at you right now. See